see two teams that have played against each other at previous Masters, with DRX being a fairly convincing victor as well, and knowing for the fact that these two teams are scrim partners, so they play against each other quite regularly. I spoke to their team manager, Nikhil, told me that they stopped doing that a month ago. So they've only had a month to try and completely adapt for each other going into this tournament, and well, I feel like there's not been a massive adaptation because Forsaken running at you that's a common theme.
Yeah, this guy's coming in with confidence right off the bat. Jing on the Reyna is going to be taking control to the C side, and so much pressure on DRX right now. That flank coming in on C was a guaranteed trade,
look
but
at the defenders.
Jing took it out immediately, and DRX, they've just left because they've got this massive flank coming in. Are Paper Rex ready for it? Well, they're actually going to push into the spawn, and now they'll have a pretty good idea, Tom, because there's no other players here, and they've seen them coming down through long. This is a complete role reversal for the teams.
Yeah, they were ready for this. They were watching their flank almost immediately. Jing just going ham. We questioned maybe that Reyna pick coming through, and what Mako almost brings it home. Now, I will say, one of the things that really excited me so far in this tournament is, okay, I've seen duelists at the top of the stats board.
Yeah.
I'm bored of it. Bored of it. I've seen Sentinels. You know that Nats guy? You remember him?
He's all right,
He's pretty good. He was at the top. I don't think I've seen a controller at the top before.
No.
And not someone playing as consistently well as Mako has throughout this tournament so far. So, yeah, they lost the round. Yeah, Paper X, Jing, he's popped off on the Reyna, which is basically his only job. There's not much else for this man. He literally has to just frag. There's no other value, really, of that agent. Oh, I've got a little flash. They can shoot you now. We don't really care about that. Clutch is pretty good, too. But ultimately, that's what they're going for. They're going for brute force. They're going for firepower. And I think that's my favorite thing about these two teams. They scrim against each other, yet they couldn't be more different.
This is the beautiful thing. We saw DRX attempt that flank down A. They gave up control of C. That was a very good plan, leaving Stacks to late play the utility, but they couldn't get anything done with it. Now, in this round, they're obviously on an eco, and so Paper X are going to roll all over them, just farming up those orbs. You've even got Benkai sat in the spawn, and he's in a bit of trouble, actually, going down, but that will be the only kill for DRX. That pistol, though, really set the tone for me, because you've got DRX attempting a decently aggressive round, giving up C, fighting down A, and pushing up for the early flank, but Paper X took it to another level entirely, fighting into the spawn, removing Stacks, the utility that was set up, and that means for DRX now, they cannot come into this buy round and say, all right, yeah, we can give up space and fight around it, unless they have some serious protocols for how they're going to stop Paper X from continuing to push forward.
The thing as well for Paper X, they need to have a solid attack. Not only are they an incredibly good attack team on this map, but DRX, last 4 times they played it, 8 rounds plus on the attacking side, Mitch.
So we had an upgrade here for Forsaken, which is fine. He had a pistol, you know, go to the Vandal, sure, but Devi's done the same, investing all of his economy into this. That's an interesting play for them right off the bat. Jing with ult online already. That Empress could be huge to really bridge the gap between these rifles and this Spectre. We'll see exactly how that plays out. Right now, a lot of control being fought for inside of Garage, but Paper X will ultimately take it, and now they're in a bit of a duel, and that Vandal's being spotted. Forsaken closing in on the site. There's the Leer up above, but the blind is perfect. It's going to catch Forsaken and the rest of the team, but then down goes Buzz, and now they can actually skirmish for the backside. If Jing gets this kill, he can even heal right back up. This is so dangerous for Mako. He's got to take them down on the way through, and he gets both.
Now holding as the rock, but Devi has managed to turn things back to an even scenario. Timing here is going to be everything. Benkai is sneaking his way through the smoke, but he's got a man coming in from behind. RB still available, but he'll clear the first. He can't quite get rid of RB. And now Devi left alone. He doesn't have himself the spike, but instead he's going to go looking for that fight. Dinked up on the other side, tries to hold the angle, but he can't face off against RB. A somewhat bonus round, Mitch, but it is still only one player. So even if there's a bit of a weaker buy here for Paper X, I assume there's going to be the same for DRX.
Absolutely. Now look, with the damage that Paper X just output, for what is ultimately, because of the economy that Forsaken had built up, keeping the pistol through the second round, and I'm not even sure if he reinvested into shields, but either way, he has money to buy. It's one guy who doesn't have a rifle here, and to come out into a 1v1 scenario in the end, in that sort of scenario, especially considering Mako got that double kill backside. If he's traded there, that is a round lost.
They did do the trade kind of weird. Like I know why, because they wanted to heal up as well. That was the point of Jing going in second, but considering he was 15 HP, a lot less chance of him getting that trade kill. So a bit of a risk for PaperX that I will say it personally I'm not a fan on. I get it because he popped the ult. That's
exactly.
the reason.
It's just one of those rounds, right? It comes close to it. It ends up falling apart in the end, but with 2-1 on the board, PaperX have got their buy up here. Devi's going to play the Sheriff, and he's got his Hunter's Fury to work with. He's going to be clearing out a lot of control for them with the utility when they do go to the push. And for now, that seems to be taking place towards A. Trapwire covering C long, smoke coming in, and all the players are stacked up. But the control they've given up, well, they've shoehorned themselves into this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Devi actually has his ult. So realistically, if they can get a plant down, he can just sit back even though he doesn't have a weapon and actually just try and play those post plants. Actually, no. He's going to use it proactively. Blind coming through. Forsaken dashes into the side off the back of it. And I think actually the flash then blinds up RB, but he still manages to get a kill off the back of it. Another peek coming through. Mako still just swinging. But it turns back into a pretty awkward position now. Devi left with just a pistol, and Stax will trade both out. DRX, it could have been a close round for them, but they managed to hold on.
Great coordination coming out of Mako. 10 seconds left on the clock. DRX running it back a second time. Not an ideal scenario for the team. You can see their setup. They're spread out into a default. Looks like they want some early A aggression, though. Just take a look at Stax's position. He's set up with some utility stuns going down. There's the peek out of RB, and he's going to try to duel for this control, at least hold the information. Good tag through the wall. Forsaken already down to 68 HP, and that's going to really make PaperX pump the brakes.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone whiff on a recon that hard. That was almost a full clip going out from the side of PaperX. Just couldn't quite clip it, and they almost lose his life for it. That would have been a pretty poor start. Now, they know that there's at least a couple of players already on that A site, so maybe falling back in the other direction has its value. The issue is clearing out Mako so far on the back of C has not been easy, and Forsaken, well, he's already burnt up his dash.
They're about to double peek back in, waited for the flash. That's a good re-peek for Forsaken, but with 68 HP, he was taken down right away. RB on the headshot. Here comes the garage push through the nano swarm. We go. Stunned through as well. DRX with some great reactions, and the Spectre even winning the duel in garage. And now here's the paranoia from Mako. Already had huge impact, and the players on long are going to be stopped because of it. But watch who's coming out. Benkai running in through the garage. They weren't ready for it. He'll only get the one. Trades back and forth. Mako able to get big work done from the backside. DRX might have had to run it twice, but they've got the round eventually.
Yeah, I also don't like this round anywhere near as much for PaperX. Like, the last was like a set piece, had a nice little sort of well, you used the ultimate to get you in, you also had the flash to sort of buy you some space, whereas this was basically, hey, can Forsaken get a kill on one side of the map, and can Jin get one on the other? And the answer to both of those was no. Why have you put this in a replay?
Yeah, in fairness, that stun was on point. You know, the rate of fire undoubtedly caused that extra damage to come through for Forsaken. Now, he was headshot when he was taken down, so I don't think it would have made much of a difference either way. Oh no, that's the spike! Benkai got pushed forward, the recon reveals him, and down he goes. PaperX really need to figure that out. Look, they've got pistols here, so we can make excuses, but that's twice now that recon's come back to bite them. Twice in a row, exactly.
Like, and also it's something that, well, you know that there's a recon coming there every single round. Like, nigh on every single round. Maybe once or twice.
It's not a unique play from DRX.
Like, yeah, maybe once or twice Cess will be like, you know, I'll put it in mid, just because they're starting to predict this a little bit too much, and then he'll go back to putting it on long again. So,
well, you'll do that if they keep destroying it, but so far,
yeah, for now, huge amounts of value coming out from a single dart. So, chances of, well, you'd hope chance of that happening again for PaperX slim. Again, the hold out now from DRX, they don't really have to spread themselves too thin, just keeping trades available and everything currently being watched on the other side. Both of them being spotted. So much information, spike and a dash into the site, no trades available on the other side, and well, Devi has managed to slightly slip the net, I guess, but good luck.
Yeah, making a pass here, they're expecting it as well. DRX are very much aware of the control that they've given up. That's a Prime Gaming flawless coming into round 5. Fantastic stuff for DRX, building up that economy. And so far, their reactions have been...
Now the duels are not going in the direction of PaperX.
I see DRX as we kick off this round looking for a very similar strategy. You can see the players grouped up outside A. You're probably going to have the recon come through. And there's no reason to change it when it's had this amount of success. I want to see PaperX's adaptation, which has to start with breaking that recon, which is on its way through. It's destroyed instantly. On the other side, well, not so much. PaperX have at least managed to take that control without losing anybody this time around.
does seem like much more of a default scenario. Waiting patiently outside A. Looking to try and play this one as a squad. They've tried to dodge the drone, but it hasn't really worked. And in fact, we're actually going to see the unsecurity pop, but they don't expect RB, and he gets 2 from that position. Even manages to use the dash and sticks around. He's just stayed in spot. They haven't managed to force him out, so there's no reason for him to move. Shot darts might do a little bit of damage, but I feel like they're really clutching at straws, and well, he'll even get out unscathed.
Yeah, the flash from Stax used just to secure that one. An audacious play, you know. I can see the idea behind it. He thought that maybe DRX had rotated to the A site. They'd already given up control of B just the previous round, so he thinks, okay.
Or maybe he can get past the player on the left side.
Enemy remaining.
Yeah, they hadn't really accounted for that. But yeah, if the guy's on the left, right, alarm bot's on left, you maybe get in there, cause another angle for them to worry about, put more pressure on the A players. But yeah, if the guy is stood there, you look a bit silly.
There's so much risk involved. That's the worry I really have with all of PaperX's plays so far over the last couple of rounds. It's like, can Forsaken win this 1v1? Can Jing win this 1v1? And that's not a comfortable spot. Some of the angles that just were left uncleared, like you give RB those opportunities, he's going to dismantle you in a second. And the fact that he was confident enough to go, nah, I'm not going to leave. I'll just sit here. But that's what I mean. It's like a half check. And you're like, you need to be careful of this because they have been happy to push up. They've been happy to take map control. And then also, I feel like a lot of the duels that we're seeing from Forsaken at the moment are, I have to do everything. There was no one there that could have swung and traded after that kill came through. Sure, most of his team are already dead, but those are still things that really worry me in such an early stage of this map.
You have to look at DRX and how they're playing so far. We've seen the team play element there. We know that this is not a team that gives up advantages. Look at even that last duel. The guy was on a long. They still commit the stun to it. And outside of that, they're showing that they can win individual duels as well. Like we saw just there from RB in the previous round in that corner. That wasn't something like the recon that we'd seen come through before, or utility punishes, or stuns, or anything like that. That was just a straight-up 1v2 duel that he wins. And if you're going to allow DRX to win the individual game, and they're also going to be winning in terms of team play, like their utility punish is huge, then I'm get worried. This is good, though. Forsaken has at least opened up Garage. Mako is in a little bit of danger there, but he's now snuck into the corner.
It was his teammate's utility. Takes a bit of damage, but being in this position just allows a bit more of a crossfire, and Stax can try and swing out if they do try and run through in that direction. It's slowed down by PaperX, though. They find themselves in a 4v4 after some quick thinking from Forsaken, and because of that, they now just wait, see if anybody overextends, see if anybody goes looking for information. They do, but Marco just isn't missing today. Waiting on the corner. They just can't clear him. A third in this round already. And while trading this one out for Stax shouldn't be too much of a problem. Already knowing where Bankai is, even stuns him up at the end. Beautiful utility usage. DRX make that one look easy.
Oh, they absolutely do. And look, PaperX didn't have the best of weaponry to work with. They came in with a bunch of weaknesses. So another round where these kind of duels for Mako are pretty favorable when you're going to be up against, you know, the majority of the time a Sheriff or something like that. But his shot here was a bit ridiculous. I see now. He saw the tracers. Okay, saw the little muzzle flash. 5-2. PaperX need to step it up right now because it's their bye round. They've got ultis online, but the same can be said for DRX.
In 7 rounds.
Yeah, pretty good.
He's getting more than 2 kills a round right now.
Get out of my way.
On Omen.
Yep. And he lost some of the assists as well. I think he got 2 kills in the round that was cancelled. Also had the assists in with the paranoia. You know, he has had a pretty good game so far. Consistency
a lot of it
there.
As well, at least in early rounds, it's just been him swinging on and killing someone.
Yeah, or stuck back C site, getting pressured and still taking 1 or 2 every single time.
Okay, this is a pace change. Again, just trying to swing their way through, but Stax to just wait on the other side. It's free, and this is what I mean. Like, so reliant on Forsaken to basically do everything there. There was no backup plan. If he gets no kills, he gets no kills. No one can trade, no one can do anything else. So a little bit too much of a reliance. Oh, that is not the way that dash was meant to go, but luckily for RB, he gets away with it.
We call that one the Yassine dash. That's a little unfortunate, but RB doesn't get punished. He's able to set back up with the operator again. This time, he won't just be seeing the top of their head as they come around. In fact, he'll see nothing because he's blinded, but that will not stop him. Mind Freak. The TP down below. Maybe this won't be expected, especially with the smoke up top. They might think that he's up there. And realistically, though, that's just going to cost them a little bit of time. Maybe some utilities. They come around, they stun, they clear it, and okay, now they know that it's free.
They've got so much, Mitch. They've got a lockdown, a rolling thunder. They've even got a blade storm if they need it. There needs to be a miracle here if PaperX are going to be able to win the round. Now, they're going to expect Benkai on the flank. He's been spotted, but he does manage to take one down. If he can somehow get another, maybe he can destroy that lockdown and give his teammates a chance, but they're not taking that risk. They're falling back. And while he does destroy it, but at this point, they've already given up the same control that they would have done.
Yeah, they didn't know they were going to destroy it for sure, so they had to fall back. Halfway diffused already. Mindfreak's got to swing in, and he's not able to stop them. DRX get away with another, very clean and very calm as well.
Yeah.
You know, they gave up control of the A side at one point when these players are frozen inside of Garage because they knew, okay, yeah, we can let these guys have the control because Lockdown, Rolling Thunder, all of these ults to play with, and didn't even really end up needing them. Obviously, the Lockdown helped a lot in repositioning the players, locking them out of the site.
It's just so clean. I love watching Buzz play. It's like the rest. It's like there's a floating head. That's all he sees. He doesn't see the rest of the body. It's just insta headshots. That's all he gets.
Gonna play those headshot-only servers. Well, we're right on into round number 9. Operator up to start with. RB's been pretty good at killing people he can't see. Another reveal for the Recon, but nothing followed up on it. Player was in the corner, thankfully. RB in a bit of danger. Lear comes through, and he's on his way, just about making it out. Good trade by Zest, and even blinded up Forsaken will get the kill, turning just in time. 4v3 we go.
Yeah, they don't have to commit off that either. The rest of the team has started to back their way in towards the B site. This is where we find Buzz and his domain.
Where you are.
Information will be garnered, so he's going to have to reposition off of the back of that, make sure that he's not just going to give himself away for free, and instead they're actually going to use the Rolling Thunder just to try and force him out of position. He takes an aggressive angle because of it, and the rest of the team were too far away to do anything. That's a spike down in the middle of the site, and now DRX have regained that control.
You've just heard that Nano Swarm go down as well. Look, there's 50 seconds, so time isn't that much of an issue for them. But I love that Buzz is just letting it sit there, right? They're going to have to get close and try to destroy it. Maybe they're even looking at it as they come in, allows them to kill them. And if not, he can just do that when they start to try to destroy it, pop it, now buy a little bit more time. But PaperX are happy to give up time because of the flank coming through from Forsaken. And they have absolutely no idea that this was happening. Now, though, they've heard the shot on the back of the side. It doesn't seem to matter. Mako puts up a good fight, but it is not enough. Benkai surviving on a sliver of health, finding that final kill and putting PaperX back on the board.
Yeah, it took a little bit of time, but we got our Forsaken round.
It took a lot of time. Look at that! Look at that round history. We got 6 in a row for DRX, and this one comes off the back of RB finally being caught out on long. This is what we needed to see.
Yeah, it was a complete shutdown. That was a direct counter for a position that he played previously, a mistake that was made by PaperX that they didn't make again. And to make sure that he was cleared, you just have that duality angle, like playing from above, playing from below. There was absolutely no way RB was getting out of that. Well played by them, good adaptation, and a solid flank as well from Forsaken. I feel like RB still gets an awful lot of opportunities, though. Like, it's very scary watching the near misses that come through for him.
I mean, that could have been Benkai down. If he falls, they lose their flank protection for C, and Garage pushes. That could have been huge. But he survives. Good flash. Nothing converted on the back of it. I think they're going to pop another. Zest is ready for it. Cloudburst goes up, and okay, 1-to-1 trades. Jing going into that Operator, and another shot missed. RB not hitting it this round, not so far. That's a lifeline for PaperX, but they still have to find a way to deal with the op because he's missed twice, Tom. Third time, I feel like it will be the charm for him if they give the opportunity away.
Yeah, they've all been very quick attempts to take the shot. Anybody trying to swing this angle now would be in trouble, but they are looking for the gap in the defense. You can already see the rotation start. The smoke's being thrown out just to try and bait them into thinking it's still an A hit, but ultimately, okay, no, there will be a third miss. RB having some issues with that Operator, not working out for him at all, and that will now almost confirm that fake. Allows them that little extra bit of space. Buzz, however, drops one as they attempt to cross and keeps it 3v3.
Oh, he's such an annoying player. And look at the rotation from PaperX on the back of Mindfreak being able to push up mid-late. He'll destroy this alarm bot, buy them a little bit of extra space, but they might go all the way to A. With the control Mindfreak has, he can try to catch off some of the rotations. He's already done a great job of that on A. I mean, he waited till RB fell asleep holding that angle and then swung in, catching him off guard. A plan secured for PaperX here, and not really a clean rotation for DRX. They have to go through the spawn or risk running into Mindfreak. And in fact, they're going to have to run into him because he's just running out looking for duels.
Yeah, some bold mid-round calls coming out from PaperX, but they have worked out this time, leaving Stax and Marco to try and bring this one back, make it just the man himself, Stax, to try and find something. And the first one's for free, though. Makes his way in. Second player will be spotted. Stax has found him as well. He doesn't know where the third is, though. A long rotation from Mindfreak, but he's going to get in behind, and this kill is for free. A nice attempt from Stax, but a fantastic round from Mindfreak.
Yeah, and he gets that off the back of a very quick decision. Once he gets the kill on B, he's instantly running mid, going through the window. Yeah, and when you look at the composition of Paper Rex, you have the likes of Benkai, and that's his role in this. One thing I'll say is, in terms of the compositions for DRX, they have a much more explosive ult economy. They will win rounds off their ults. Paper Rex have ults that do not win you rounds the majority of the time. Maybe Device post plant, but other than that, Empress? Yeah, Empress, yeah. The Spectre. Yeah, did so much before, you know?
I just got an angry DM from Lothar. I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Honestly, you know, if we keep making him watch Rain, he's going to look like you by the end of this, but 120 on the clock.
Much more handsome, but yes, I get what you mean.
I'm not saying he would pull it off worse than you, Tom. You know, I'm sorry.
RB's under pressure again. Oh, he actually manages to land. I assume that was a no-scope, or he was incredibly fast. Never mind. Maybe the speed of this man is enough. He's missed a few shots, but he's making up for it in this round. A complete shutdown. Please, no more jumping short. Thank you, Buzz. Thank you, Buzz. Please. Thank you.
This guy's been watching Yumpy. That's 7-4 for DRX, and a very important round that they've now got under their belt. Take a look at Paper Rex's economy. 2 players not going to be able, 3 players not going to be able to buy. In fact, coming into this one, Benkai having to play a Spectre. The others can't even afford shields and a Spectre. And as we said, you don't really get to bridge the gap with ultis.
Okay.
That's one way to do it.
We've seen that 2 days in a row.
You know, when you look at this situation for Paper Rex as well, the tragedy is they've got every ult online except for Forsakens, which is the one they'd really want in this round.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, because he got Marshall. I would like to see him try and take either the battle on A long or go for the one on C long, because it's something that's been faced quite regularly, and then challenge for the orb. Because if he can get 1 kill, get the orb, that's his Blade Storm for the round, then he can change it. Because we've seen, literally one of the clips that was shown in the early video was him acing around with the knives. He's fantastic with them. The thing is though, I don't think that's something that's going to be given up easily. They're almost trying to bait the shot out of RB so somebody can try and swing onto it. It does not work. As said, he may miss a couple, but then he makes up for it.
Yeah, I love that he keeps his dash in his back pocket just so he can go for these super quick peeks around the corner, in, fire, and out in one swift movement. This is going to be tough for RB, but luckily he's got those up drafts, and it's so hard to connect the shots. He's going to be tagged up down to 13 health, but sitting there with an operator. He just needs to connect 1 bullet. And his teammates here to back him up. Blade Storm now online, no updraft to play with. He's being closed in on, he's low HP, but he's going out wide. Jing luckily takes him down, but Mako's already made it onto the site. He's backing up the rest of his squad with a 3K. This guy just does not miss. And Tom, that is going to be 8 rounds in the first half for DRX.
I genuinely think that Marco's not even looking for the tournament win. He's looking straight for the MVP. Man is 19-8 in the first half. Incredible performance. Honestly, I want to know.
Quick, we're not Pampock. 8-4, round 13. We're getting right on into things. And we got a lot of ghosts in play for Paper Rex. They're going to be coming in on the defensive side, but I think they've got a bit of aggression planned.
They're going for the wallbangs off the back. I like it. Trying to predict where some of the players are. It hasn't worked, and you can just see them running straight down in towards A. There is currently nobody there. There is some utility to try and stop them, but well, I'm telling you now, it's probably not going to do the trick. Straight into the site. We already spot them first, but he has a little trip set up just to kill a Barbie in the corner. Wonderful stuff.
This could be a little bit tricky now. This paranoia in play for Mako comes in at the perfect time, but it actually catches Zest. Oh no, he's gone down to it. Paper Rex.
Look, the kills are mine. In a pretty good spot now.
Mako, though, has been huge in the Omens and pistol rounds. They always show up, but this time, Jing deals with him right away. Things falling apart here for the attacking side. They need a hero to step it up, and Buzz does a good job with 2. Here comes the Frenzy, getting the tag, stopping the heal, but there's more than enough players for Paper X to make it work. They'll find this round, and that is definitely a lifeline, one they're more than happy to walk away with, getting 5 on the board.
Yeah, I like that. I like that from Benkai. A little gimmick. It's something that it will likely not work again, but if it wins you a pistol round in a spot like this, it can get you right back into the map. I do think as well, just the fact that DRX had like a slight error, it's always going to be a problem. Like that paranoia does actually catch the majority of the players on the other side, but unfortunately, Forsaken quick enough to react, and from then it's almost just a death ball coming in from Paper X, just like trading out effectively and taking home the pistol.
Yeah, we'll give a lot of credit to Mako, though, in that one. I think that's the first time I've seen him even slightly miss a piece of utility.
It's a big flash.
It is a pretty big flash, I'll say that. Yeah, 8-5. Jumping on into round number 2, and there was a world that I could have seen where DRX come in and force buy, play confident and just try to roll them. But they have played this respectfully. They're taking classics.
They did that versus Zeta, right?
I believe they did, and it makes sense. You know, this is a confident team that even though they don't give away advantages, they are willing to take a few risks, but not this time.
They were winning 11-1.
That's the big difference, right? It makes a pretty big difference because you can see letting it slip here, then PaperX hit 7, and things start to get a bit scary. Let's see if the pistols can do any damage. Even up against the shields, it's just going to be so hard to take them down. Evidently not for Zest. He's got one. That's where things will end. A plant as well as a kill. It's not the end of the world for a full eco, but nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I'm liking Benkai's Cypher setups. They're just annoying, and that's all you can really hope for if you're a Cypher. Just make it so that you can slow down your opponents, especially in a round like that, survive long enough that the rotations can come through. And now they're going to go into this one as a bonus round. Now, I'll be interested to see what he actually buys up, if it is just going to be maybe a dropped pistol from another teammate, and they'll just try and save back into things. But this is where we basically expect things to change for DRX. They're coming in with the rifles. Stax also already has a Rolling Thunder, as if it wasn't bad enough already. He's been farming up those orbs, so yeah, chances are this should be a round for the Koreans.
Yeah, certainly with the weaponry you even see it's favoring the attack. But that's where PaperX will come in with some interesting ideas, and right away, a lot of aggression on A. 4 players were stacked up, they tried to take fights early, no one's there, and so they're going to smoke it off and leave Mindfreak to hold this control. Actually, he's got a teammate coming. They might decide to push this.
Yeah, they're building up, taking that extra control. Got themselves the paranoia, also rotating in a third player as well. Basically pushing into this little trap that's currently set up for PaperX, and because they've used the further back player almost to try and bait things in, and he just shot his own teammate. I think a little bit of confusion coming out there, and while DRX eventually just trade out quite effectively.
Not the cleanest of rounds.
Yeah, his mind freaked out on that one, you could say.
It definitely did. Well, DRX are happy to pick this one up. I'm pretty cleanly at that. Just one player lost, and it's RB on the way through. Those things, these things happen. These things happen. You know, and I look at PaperX, they have those weak weapons. I like the idea. The setup was disgusting. I mean, the fact that you have the paranoia from Mindfreak, he's tucked in the corner, they take initial contact with Jet, and because Forsaken is there, and he's the only one peeking and destroying the drone, you kind of start to think, oh, maybe he's just alone in this position. You clearly see they do not expect a player on short after they've spotted Mako as well. So the setup was good, and we'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll also see what would have happened if they actually had weaponry as well. Like, it's a very different scenario from normal. Now, the unfortunate fact is, even though that was somewhat of a bonus, the buy that's about to come back up for PaperX is still not a particularly good one. I'm hoping that, like, you're going to have Forsaken actually come into this one with a rifle, but one away from his Bladestorm. He gets a kill, gun goes over, you basically have yourself a 4-buy going into this round, and they also have some other ultimates that are very, very close. The thing is, though, that Rolling Thunder is still available, and I feel like that's almost by design for DRX. So, okay, let's not use that in a round that we can win comfortably anyway. Let's use it in a round that will basically give them, I guess, the pathway to win the game.
Yeah, well, we've got another tech pause coming in here. Stax needs a new desk. No, I'm only kidding. It's going to be a quick one.
He needs one per half.
Yeah, where's my attacking desk, bro? What the hell? That'd be an interesting.
He has stacks of them at home.
Oh, God. Well, now I regret making that joke. Okay, well, when we jump back into things, as you said, you know, PaperX are going to be coming through with a decent amount of weaponry, but yeah, there are weaknesses there. It's possible to make that work on the attack, and we've seen it before. On the defense, though, those weaknesses are going to be something that DRX try to lean on hard.
Yeah, well, even just by the small amount we can see within the map, I assume, again, this is going to be a very aggressive position. Yep. Like I said, basically what I want to see is either Forsaken grab the orb, then hand the gun over to someone else, or just go for those headshots. And that's the thing. He is a win condition for this squad. He always has been. Like, some of the games that we saw them compete in last time, where they actually managed to battle versus some of the better teams within the tournament, like all the way back at Masters, a lot of it came down to like him having an incredible performance, and we know that he can. Right now, he's bottom of the board for his team. And as I said, like, if that's one of your win conditions, that's your superstar, that's the guy that pops off, that's the guy that's in all the clips. he can't be at the bottom of the board. I know it almost sounds like a bit of a harsh statement, especially when a lot of the time on the attack, his job is to dash into angles and take the space. So I think on the defense, this is where we now need to see that fragging power out from him. And hopefully at some point, the operator as well.
Well, we'll see whether that comes to pass or not. For now, Paper Rex kicking things off with this mixed buy. Forsaken going to have an opportunity to play in the corner that RB found so much value from. Same position over on short. Jing picking up one, and they're going to fade out, give up the control on the back of that man advantage now in the defender's hands.
Yeah, unfortunately no weapon to be reclaimed, and because of the current setup, they almost have to try and re-aggress and do a little bit more. Like, these duelists need to be popping if they're going to have a chance to win the round. They might actually be able to catch them by surprise. Look how far up they've gone! They've pushed all the way in. They know he's in the corner. He's pulling out a drone. Who's expecting anybody to go back through short? Still, though, the trades are good. Keeping it back into a 3 versus 2. They don't expect re-aggression from Divine. They are just fighting this entire corner of the map. And it might have had some weaknesses in this purchase, but they make it work fantastically well.
Yeah.
And then someone running in and killing everyone. So you almost still have to have this aggression for Paper Rex in the majority of the round. So if it's like one and done or 50-50, DRX win the map.
Yep, that's a really good point. I think Stacks is the key element. Having that
they're already going again.
The players are trapped. Jing has no choice but to continue forward. The Hunter's Fury will at least trade out, taking down Buzz. There's a flank coming through. Mind Freak's got the spike, and RB is just trapped down on long. Paranoid up as well. A gorgeous round from Paper Rex. We compliment the aggression on the defensive side, but they have just taken it to a whole nother level.
That was insane. And now RB, he's left to try and pick up the pieces. 70 HP, and he's locked in. He's got 2 players just sat up high. They're going to try and play from different headshot angles, so a transition of the peak, and he's not even going to look in the right direction, not expecting them to be there. I like the adaptation, though, for Paper Rex, because you look at just the initial 2 players running up there, insane. Like, that's insane. That's not a good play. But the fact that the flank was so fast, because the rest of the players on DRX are like, we got him this time, and then they get killed in the back because they don't know he's coming.
I mean, they called attack pause. The entire point of that was so that they could figure out how to stop them from taking the control that has been fought for on both sides of the spike. You look at that short play, they thought the Nano Swarm would be the answer, and it got there as fast as it damn well could, but they just went running through. And with the Hunter's Fury to back them up in the mid flank, it makes sense why they're playing so aggressive. That's DRX. They came in, they're like, all right, we've got a plan, and you just got ruined.
Ooh,
Paper Rex need to be careful of this Blade Storm for sure. It's coming up, but Mind Freak's gonna slip in through the Cloud Burst. Hello! Only one to be found, though. The trades come in quickly, and DRX are now ahead.
Yeah, this is a round just stacked with ultimates for DRX. They may not have the weaponry, but they're managing to retrieve it. Jing, he dissipates within seconds, and then the trade comes through. Instead, it's left all on to Buzz, trying to clutch this one out. Just a pistol in hand, and it's not quite going to be enough. 38 HP. An incredible attempt for DRX, but Paper Rex will hold.
You know, Paper Rex come into this series in a positive light, because they lost a lot in the previous. They survived with 1 player, and as you said, it was what, 38 HP or 68? Yeah. It was a very low amount of health, 38. And so now coming into this one, they'll hope they can win this a little cleaner.
Get out of my way!
Jing is just walking, but they're not changing the pace. I like this. Straight down. Why? About to come into pressure. This time he does lose the battle with the pistol. That's the site completely lost. And remember, they've got this Blade Storm. Now for the opposing team, it almost looks like a retake scenario, but remember how many ults are currently still online.
You should run.
The plant is safe. Down goes the lockdown for DRX. Paranoia ready for Mako. He's hearing steps. He's contemplating firing it off and trying to take these players down. And he knows they'll be making a step forward any moment. Now Rolling Thunder coming through. That's a great connection, but Mako can't see a thing. He's taken down by Jing, who gets a double, even stunned up. Paper Rex are on their way back in, and with weaker weapons, most of these players don't stand a chance. Stacks goes forward for 1, and RB's all alone. He's got a 1v1 for a moment, but with the Classic in hand, it's not an easy fight to win. In the end, it's not that much of a change from what we saw happen previously. With Paper X getting the defuse, they'll have 2 players surviving this time.
Yeah, but I think a lot more ultimates were actually burnt up in the attempt. So, yeah, again, it's not that different a result, but you also see the Rolling Thunder go out, and, well, it's just Jing's ability to correct, but also his leer, which is not something I ever thought I'd say, that his leer saved his life there. Just being able to blind him up in the corner.
You're gonna have a message, man. You're gonna have a message after this one. Lear MVP.
Lear MVP. Yeah, the Lear was the best piece of utility in that entire round.
I've seen many rounds like that. I remember one on Breeze. The Lear was just amazing for all the assists on the walkout. God, been a while since we've seen that kind of impact come through. Right, 9-9 as we get back into things. The full buy up for both teams. Same scenario for DRX as we had previously set up. They're investing all their economy here and now, and we're fighting for the lead. Someone's about to hit double digits, and PaperX, they're not looking for that same early aggression that has been a staple of this defensive side so far. Instead, they're holding back. The problem here is Forsaken with the up. Oh, he's scoped in, and RB takes that one easily. Great control. He's just running it down. The blind was so good, and they're so confident that it connects.
They're actually trying to continue their push forward in towards this seaside, but they've eliminated everybody along the way. The only man left is going to be Benkai, locked out of the site. That was crisp from DRX, but a lot of it comes down to the setup. Like the fact that I don't know if they destroyed some piece of utility there, but I don't think there was anything there to actually stop that. So it was just almost a complete gamble that no one was going to try and challenge that smoke.
Yeah, it's a really strange one. You know, if you've got a trap wire down there at the start of the round or something, even if it gets destroyed, you almost expect Jet to fall back and not take that kind of an angle. It's so risky with the smoke that was down. And then when you consider the fact that I believe that was Mako's smoke, right? So there's clearly some intention behind that play. And I guess for PaperX, they really hope that the intention was someone coming out window and trying to get some control, but DRX had a much better plan to back that up. 10-9 now. Luckily, PaperX had the bank to buy back up here, but if they lose this one, then things get very scary.
They just about, because even then, you've still got yourself a Spectre, of course. If you throw in an Empress,
3 players light shields
the worst thing. Yeah, the light shields being thrown in. Doesn't look like there's a drone unless it was already... Oh no, it's being used right now. That's why there's no drone. And actually, it's going to be used on the other side as well to try and force Forsaken out, getting him out of position, instantly going in with the fault line, but they're not actually pressuring. And this doesn't actually force a rotation. Interestingly, seeing nothing into mid and him not being pushed has moved or shifted their setup towards this seaside. DRX will think this is a lot clearer than it is.
Paranoia through again, the dismiss afterwards. Mindfreak in a bit of a tough spot. He's being pushed down and eliminated, but there's players here to back him up. Buzz does well to find the double, and PaperX will keep on fighting, brawling for the site. The spike down, things were looking scary, but they have the TP, they pick it up, and they get onto the A site for free. That's a plant in for DRX, but a man disadvantage now extended into 2.
Well, it's up to the star. Marco has had an incredible tournament, an incredible map so far, but winning in this 1 versus 3 scenario, spotting that there's nobody left on the flank, to try and utilize the smoke to at least give him a little bit of an angle to try and fight onto the spike. You can see them slowly clearing things out. They've even put a trip within that smoke just to see if he's hiding there, but he's watching to see if anybody's going to attempt to run through it. Mako with an opportunity for the first duel, manages to hit the shot, looking for a little more, but Benkai will be there to trade. No opportunity to clutch out that round, and an incredible read from PaperX.
Really nicely done with double digits on both sides. That's PaperX at least securing themselves a little bit more runway coming into this, but the way DRX have been going, there's just no eco coming, man. They've got to fight for every single round, and that's what starts to happen when you trade rounds back and forth like that. Coming into round number 21, you just take a quick check-in on where the ultis are at, and the big play for DRX has been a big conversational topic. The explosive ultimates that they have to play with, this time they'll be coming in with nothing, but even when you see PaperX, excuse me, with 2 online,
Well, there was another stat. I can't remember the exact stat, but it was something like DRX, depending on the ultimates that they were using, were winning something like 80% of rounds. Now, obviously, they've dominated the first couple of maps, or matches that they played, so it's a little bit skewed.
It got him! That shock dart got him! Hit him for like half health, just double bouncing around. That's gotta be so annoying. Forsaken does well to get out of there. I think that's almost a mistake on Stax not being ready for that, not being able to trade that quickly.
I think it's because he had Spike, he backed off.
Yeah, and also, I guess, it's so hard to get the read that he's that close, he can't dash out safely, and if he does swing and there's a second player there, lose Spike, round's almost over immediately. So he plays it passive, it's probably the right call, good flash to push Forsaken off the angle, but it doesn't work. This time it does though. He's stuck, and now he's stunned and down!
So
the updraft missed, and it cost him his life.
Benkai also stunned at the back of the site for a second. He's got to try and hold this alone, manages to drop the spike, but he can't get anything more. There is a flank again, there's always a flank, and it always seems to be Mindfreak. A 1 versus 2 scenario. Not a whole lot of utility to try and deal with in the turret. Will give a little bit of extra space, but he's going to use the smoke again to try and isolate. They just picked it up and walked away. He's seen it disappear, but they don't have to go for anything in this side of the map. They're just sprinting to try and reset this brawl onto either B or C.
And he hears both sets of steps fading away from him, knowing now that these guys are leaving. As he was hot on their tail, he's not really going to be too cautious on the way through B, but he has to be careful of spawn. You've seen Buzz tuck in there. And Freak will clear it, but that's such a tough off angle to clear. And oh, he's gone in through Garage. But with DRX going back and holding this control together, they have such a strong position, a lockdown to play with that's unlikely to go through in a 2v1. But the round that's in it.
Yeah, they could use it just to confirm if they really wanted to. But it seems like they're just going to try and play this one together halfway through. Mindfreak managed to get it most of the way. Could just stick this. He doesn't know where the second player is coming from, but he's bought himself the time. He's going to hear the footsteps. Now playing ring around the Rosie. The peek coming through. Resist! And he gets stuck on the box. Mindfreak manages to win a scenario, which it just looked impossible. And he will get himself that Red Bull clutch.
He started the round on C, and he ends it there as well, using his teleport to get behind them, flanking up on A. And what a play it was. Look at this. They had no idea the distraction from the side as everyone else is dueling. He picks up one kill, lets them have the spike, follows them all the way through. That was a beautiful play by Mindfreak. And with 11 rounds on the board, they've actually finally pushed DRX into a position where they don't really have money. This is them set up to push to map point potentially, or it's DRX what they look to be doing, force buying. If they lose this round, Tom, PaperX will have 2 chances to close it out, starting with a very low buy. That paranoia was very ambitious.
Yeah, he's just gone straight through, and they're getting decimated because of it. Jing will be able to dismiss out of position. He's got a teammate to support. He's going to go for a kill and try and get out of there. Never mind. He's just going to go for the whole team. He might be able to dismiss away from the Killjoy ult, but he can't. It's not going to be there, and he falls instead. Buzz will take him down, but it might not matter. It's now left on to Buzz, and Buzz alone.
We can talk about the impact of Reyna. We can say, yeah, you know what? You don't really bring a lot to your team unless you're dueling. Well, yeah, but he did a pretty good job there. Single-handedly winning that one out, or at least putting them into a winnable position. The information to play with Buzz. I mean, he knows he can plant it at this stage. It's going to be for long. Alarm bot still to play with, turret coming online as well. The players are quick. Oh, they're not giving him any space whatsoever. Knowing exactly where he is. The jump overheard, the double peek coming through. And PaperX with some textbook Valorant there. But really, Jing just, I don't know how he got away with so much.
Yeah, it's one of those classic like plays when there's a lockdown and your opponent goes, oh, he'll fall back now, right? He'll fall back now. But it even seemed like they were ready for him to re-peek that and swing on the trade, but he just lands every single headshot that's put in front of him. There's a reason that this guy was brought into the team and that they're risking playing a composition that involves a double duelist. I think a lot of people at this point know it is not the greatest like composition to be running, but this kid is good enough that it is.
A lot of people will pin DRX as the favorites. We saw the poll earlier on, 70%
I think you'd be
roughly.
mad not to.
Absolutely, yeah. And with 70% of the Valorant audience swinging towards DRX, this is definitely an upsetting start for that side. I'm looking at the ults here. Rolling Thunder, Bladestorm to work with. It's the Rolling Thunder I expect to see come through to take some space. PaperX are not playing passive for it. These guys are trying to duel in middle. There's 3 players here fighting away, but DRX, they take it a different direction, running through Garage. That is nasty, though. Mindfreak being pushed down here. The Rolling Thunder's completely avoided. In fact, the only person that connects on is Mako inside the ultimate. And look who's right behind them. Only the one to be found for Forsaken, but Jing's here! A double, the dismissed of
my God!
That's another foul!
Wow!
And Jing closes out!
Excited to see what he's about to do.
We had seen him a little bit in EMEA on Bind, and I hated it. I hated every second of it. It was like, it was just, oh, look, I'm in the teleporter. Or am I? And that was about it. I'm expecting a lot more from PaperX. I've heard whispers of what the Yoru can do, and today,
a lot of bait plays.
Forsaken's going to be showing us exactly what he's got up his sleeves. We're kicking off Bind, PaperX against DRX, and PaperX come in with the map advantage here.
The thing is, DRX have switched their comp as well. So they brought in a Sage. Now, one of the things that could be just to deny the Yoru is having that wall. Just like, yeah, you get through this one, bud. But also just having all of that Ashe utility to try and slow with gravity wells and stuff. I wonder if they're directly using this composition to play up against the composition of Paper X.
The gamble here from Paper X was that it would be a play through mid-B, but unfortunately they've gone elsewhere. So now this retake play on A goes in a little fast. Up and above the wall. Forsaken's down. The flash coming in from Benkai now. Headshot connected. He's been chased. He's been hunted by the boom bot, and eventually he'll be able to make it out. Look, he did as well. The nade, the stun, everything coming in for the RB down.
An execution. Benkai just swings the corner. And now it's just going to go wrapping in. Zest hasn't connected the shots. Jing, on the other hand, well, he doesn't miss.
Look at this setup from Mako. Overcomes the utility to push them down. First, you're pulling them off. Then you're putting down that snake bite to make sure that they can't get back on the spike. Now they're in a pretty tough spot getting back in there. Good fight by Jing. Another connect, and now he's got his nade back up and online. And here it comes. Gonna push Mako forward, if not take him down altogether. Very nicely handled by Paper X, and another fantastic round out of Jing. This guy's had 3 in a row now, bringing it across maps.
Yeah, he's winning them rounds. And that's the thing. That's the value of him coming in. As I said, like, to run a double duelist, you need to have 2 superstars. And that's what they now have. But before it was the Forsaken show, now Jing can basically just step up whenever they need him. I will say, though, the thing I really liked about this retake was just the pacing of it. Like, they were taking control of Lamp so fast that even Zest, who was on the other side, didn't have enough time to react to everybody just swinging him at once. So, well played, good structure from Paper X. And now, well, on the other side of things, it looks like there's some risks being taken.
I love this setup. It's exactly what they were looking for in the pistol. This time they initiated at the very start of the round instead of off contact, but they've ended up going down, and really that's the surprise element of this buy for DRX. They come in with weapons when Paper X thought it would be an eco and an easy round, although they picked up the kills nicely. Stacks in a bit of trouble. And Mako's able to help him from afar. They've regained control of the spike, but I'm not sure Paper X are finished fighting.
Oh, another flash. They've just got so many to continuously aggress on this defensive side. A lot of damage done. At the same time, though, in terms of weaponry, it's almost even. In fact, DRX invested more into this round. Mindfreak, bit of an off angle. If he can get 2 and even just duck out. No, he's going to stick around. Finish them all off. And earn himself some more orbs along the way. Force Spy fails. DRX are going to have to go back to the pistols for this one. And Paper X, well, if anything, I think they come out of that with more weapons than they started with.
Yeah, no, you got to be pretty happy if you're Paper X, right? They played a pretty low buy coming into that one. Lots of pistols to work with, and they made it work. DRX, we talked about it on the previous map when they lost that second half pistol, that it is something that you can see this team do, going for the force buys. And here, the surprise element of it certainly paid off on that mid-fight initially. But from there, Paper X just did not relent. You know, a lot of teams will fall back and go, oh, okay, we lost. You got 1-for-1 trades, whatever. Let's fight back on the site. These guys were like, all right, I'm going to TP back, then I'm going to come through, flash again, then he put his like decoy up middle, then ran back through and TP'd back. Like, they had no idea what was going on.
Oh, Benkai set up ready. Hot flash again. He's running off the back of it, but it is only going to be the one.
Spike down A.
Not falling for the fake out. Actually, Jing's just going. He's just running.
Oh, that nade's
good. To sprint with them. The thing is, they're going to manage to avoid it. Now the rest of the team look to actually just take this control. It's such an aggressive defense. Even versus the pistols. They're wanting to try and fight. Buzz is in, and Buzz, he's now found another. This is starting to fall apart a bit. The aggression finally punishing. And now Mindfreak left again. He got 3 kills in the last round. He needs to do the same.
Well, look what's being given over, though. DRX now have weapons to work with. Zest is going to have his heal online in a bit and be able to at least heal either himself or probably Buzz right back up. With the Phantom in play for Mako in full health, this is a round that looks set to be in the hands of DRX, and it is taken convincingly with 3 players surviving, a free Phantom for them as well. The second round force buy didn't quite pay off, but they've got it back somehow on the eco.
Yeah, I feel like these are the blips that you're going to see on the radar for Paper X. Like, again, in rounds where you know your opponent's economy is low, to be this aggressive, it's always going to have massive risks around it, but they don't want to give that fight up, because then they know that they would have given some of the weaponry over. I do agree, though, the Phantom did seem a little bit much, especially at that sort of range. I just don't feel like the value is there. Now you get maybe the most mixed bag buy I've ever seen. It's been a long, long time since I've seen a Yoru op as well. Laz, he's still in this tournament. I think that's the only man who's ever done it.
You've got a Yoru op and then a Judge in the hands of Raze. This is a mixed buy indeed. Devi having the Spectre. But The operator is where they look to take initial contact here on middle. TP ready to get them back over towards the B side if he needs, and he will in a moment. There's the peek initially. RB down immediately, and that's a great start. I think DRX will be pretty surprised with having run into a Yoru up to start.
Yeah, but I guess at this point you almost have to expect the unexpected when it comes to PaperX. Like, that's the problem. Like, no one else in the world is going to be playing this comp, so you can only have hard prepped for them. And even then, they're not scrimming you anymore. They stopped doing that a month ago so that they could have these cheeky little plays that you're not going to be expecting when coming into this tournament.
There's no way that Forsaken's going to go through the teleporter, try to fight them in TP, and then, okay, his teleporter is actually gone. His gate crash, it was in the spawn, but it's disappeared now. So he won't be able to rotate as quickly, and that works out perfectly for DRX as they look to push forward. That is ridiculous. Jing getting himself one, but he'll be taken down afterwards. Now the site's basically lost with the wall in the way. The plant should be secured.
I felt like I'm back watching F4Q again. Like, just blast pack, judge plays. A little bit of utility being placed, but caught while coming out of the animation. Devi has managed to clear one out. RB is going to be brought back from the fray, but Stax needs to get aggressive while the rest are rotating. Can't allow them to get on that defusal, and well, they should have a gravity well or something to try and pull them off, but they managed to get it to half. Not a bad position, and something that might not necessarily be expected. The peek out isn't going to garner anything. RB does manage one, but he can't escape. Benkai again, so good with those fault lines, and they have plenty of time, Mitch.
I love the use of the molly coming through from Mindfreak as well inside the smoke when they start the defuse. So these players, they have to allow it to go halfway. The only option they had was to spam through, and as soon as they tried that, there was return fire, I think, from Benkai taking the player down. With 3-1 now on the board, that is a remarkable recovery by PaperX off the back of a pretty risky investment. I mean, there were a lot of things here that might have cost them, and that judge in particular, finding value from that, honestly, he could have gotten a lot more if the timing was, I don't want to say better because there's no way he can know, but luckier, let's say.
Well, I like in those highlights as well, you see that two of the, well, obviously 6, because they did use a res, players that died were completely stunned up by fault lines from Benkai. He has been doing incredible work with that small piece of utility, and already we're going to see the initial aggression. Look how fast this rotation is. They're already looking to try and get 4 players within this B side. Make it 5, in fact.
The orbital strikes used to slow them down, and RB's taken down in the meantime. Seeker's out for Devi, but he's got cover. Benkai coming in to save the day, and Devi's gonna dance around that smoke. He goes down, but he knows exactly where Stax is. That information's fed to his teammates, and okay, Stax can fall back and has some Seekers of his own, but in a 1v4, even getting the plant down here would be ambitious and quite difficult. I like the PaperX were sticking together for a while as 4, but splitting into 2-2 makes a lot of sense here just to cover more ground.
I don't think it's a stat that anybody can pull, but I would love to know how much of the game PaperX spend running over walking. Because I feel like it's going to be higher than anyone else ever. Because it's like their rotation there was so quick. Now, the player on the site is actually relatively low. The thing is, I'd be very surprised if Mindfreak peaks. He actually does off the back of the stun. Gives an opportunity. Flash through as well. Stax is doing incredibly well to isolate these jewels. The other player is coming in on the flank. If he can somehow find this rag, he's got an opportunity and actually moves into a safe spot to utilize the Seekers. He's going to get the wall bang. 4 down, and now he even knows where Forsaken is. Could just go for the plant, bringing this back to try and ace it. Pop flash out to leave him blind, leaves himself blind a little bit as well. Forsaken still just trying to sneak his way, trying to ruin the day on Stax, but he will land the headshot in the end. A round that never should have been.
I mean, back and forth the entire map so far. We have had rounds that shouldn't be won. The eco from DRX, the mix buy for PaperX, but I think that one's taken the cake for now. Unbelievable work, a 1v4 ace clutch. And he isolates every duel. You can definitely look at that as some mistakes from PaperX, but I understand Benkai wants to get out there to help his low HP teammate who was 1 bullet through the wall away from going down. The operators swap out for Forsaken, and a damn good attempt on the jump up, but such a crispy shot hit by Stax. That is 3-2, and now PaperX are left down to the eco. The tables are turning too damn fast.
The man's a god. Like, he read everything perfectly. Like, sure, the Seekers at the end was the icing on the cake just to give him the information, but it was the isolation of every single one of those duels from Stax. So clever in those sort of spots, and, well, as you said, leaving PaperX in a bit of an awkward position, because up until that, their read on the round has been phenomenal. They've been doing an excellent job on this defensive side, but that one blip on the radar could be enough to turn things. Again, we're just seeing these combinations of stuns and flashes and Mind Freak. It's going to go pushing, but they know that someone's made that move.
Gonna burn up
Run.
the... Oh, God.
Run!
It's caught him as well. Yeah. Won't have any impact off the back, though. Obviously, no one pushing up from DRX. They're waiting to go into the A site. They've been spotted up by Divide, tagged through the wall. Having an easy time getting out of there. He has managed to reposition with Forsaken. They're not going to get on top of the wall as they try to break it. Divide goes down. Showstopper attempt. It's going to find nothing. That was an ambitious ultimate.
Maybe not wanting to go all the way up, risk being headshotted. Forsaken's actually found Zest through the edge of the box, and then just seconds later, we have a blast back kill. RB holds his ground, and he's going to wipe them out, leaving just Mind Freak, the late lurk once again, trying to come back through, and Buzz is watching and waiting. DRX not letting anything get out of control, the ult's not really having the impact they would have desired, and they're going to equal up that scoreline.
Well, no surprise while we were talking about the potential forces in round 2 from DRX. We said confidence is the way to play, and so far, it has been working out for them. Face into that bye, sure, we expect them to win that round and equalize things up. But the way that they've been getting this done, the clutch from Stacks, I mean, momentum has got to be off the charts over on that attacking side. But this is where they face a pretty tough round. I mean, Forsaken, I don't even want to theorize what he's going to do with that ultimate. Things can get wild, let's just say. And then on the other side, you've also got a Rolling Thunder to try and recover some of these scenarios. PaperX have a bunch to work with. Although the one upside is that Showstopper was burned up in the last round for nothing. And here's the Showstopper on the other side, getting away with a kill inside of Hookah.
just watching what Forsaken is going to try and attempt here. Pop flashing out, dissipates back to the A side, but the rest of his team are going to be left somewhat alone. They've won themselves into the corner! What has just happened? He even jumps back down off the wall, and now it's somewhat stuck. It's a bit of a weird position to be in. Benkai in the corner as well. The flash is solid. One isolated, but can't get himself the second. And now, well, the man who gate crashed away now has to try and run back. And that he's already got his Seekers back. He used it in that clutch just 2 rounds ago.
And then he got 4 kills. It certainly helped out.
Spike
I think it was 2 right after the Seekers. Forsaken still with a flash and his ult to play with. He's going to be moving into this 1v2 for now, clearing the angles, but the Vandal needs the headshot with just 32 health. And PaperX, you know, they're not going to have an easy time. DRX are just stuck in, not peeking anything, waiting for him to tap that spike, and then they can run it off the clock in the positions they're in. It's so hard for Forsaken to weed them out. And they even believe it's a fake to start with. Gorgeous stuff. I like the fact that you send the one guy out of Hookah and the player inside of Elbow is just going to sit there, just going to wait for something to happen. There's no point in both you peeking and giving the information away. A 4th round found pretty cleanly, and that was the buy round for PaperX, leaving it down to another eco. DRX, despite a pretty terrible start to this, they've certainly recovered the fumble.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more shaky. I think if you end up locking you and your teammate behind a wall in the cubby. and the fact that I think if the player didn't fall off of the wall, it probably gets 2 kills there. It's not quite as pretty as maybe some of the rounds we're used to from DRX, but they're going to take it. 4 rounds already on that attack, and again, back to pistols. The dimensional drift not really being used at all. I'd be interested to see what Forsaken's actually going to do with it. If it's going to be like a couple of fake plays to try and bait people out, use it for information, or if they're saving it for a situational position within a buy round that he feels it can bring value. Who knows? Because again, we don't really see this in competitive play.
Yeah, fake TP'd over towards A side, but I don't think anyone was close enough to really hear that. Hoping that they're going to get DRX running up through B long, but now some players have been spotted. And look at the immediate reaction. Stacks goes up, makes a bit of noise, pops his flash, and then he's on his way back around. His teammates creeping in towards the A site. With no gate crash over there anymore, this is going to leave him in a pretty tough spot. PaperX stacked up on exactly the wrong side, and they're realizing that now with the smoke's going down, with the space being seized, and soon enough with the plan coming through.
It's going to be an attempt again to try and play through this. Forsaken making noise at least, but they're going to have themselves the Viper's Pit to play within. Covering off the spike, Benkai's pushed himself in. Trying trying to get a little bit more aggressive, but Mako is ready for it. And with the players being so low, every time he takes a battle, it becomes easier and easier. Also, okay, I was going to say, it looked like Buzz had that covered. Forsaken will drop one, Mitch, but, well, I think that might be all.
Yeah, there's an immediate response from DRX. They thin out this defense on the way back through. Another big clutch needed, and they're on their way. 2 kills already found, rifles retrieved. Here comes an orbital strike, and a dive in. Mind Freak's taken, Forsaken out. But Mako going down doesn't really help them with so little time. Mind Freak tries his best. But we end up with DRX coming out ahead. Another round that Tom, I think, you know, not as clean as maybe either team would have liked. Forsaken going down to that ult. I mean, he was just barely inside it, but it was enough.
The worst thing is if he just stands back, Mako's going to run into him. Yeah. Like almost 100%.
Oh, you've slow-mo'd it?
He's gonna run in. Yeah, so he tried to play on the edge and just clips it.
Oh my God!
The shot that he connects onto Marco was fantastic, but there was only one way he could go.
Yeah.
It's a nice attempt, especially again with what weaponry they had. They used those ultimates to make things incredibly costly, but DRX still come out with a round.
They've done well to find that, but you have to remember,
Rex
had nothing. They had barely anything to play with. Initial push down on B long, and they've kept 2 players up close after the TP out. Are they ready for this? Buzz is certainly expecting there to be someone up close, but with 2 players on the other side, he could be in a lot of danger. He's starting to back off at least and give up that control. Lots of players spotted outside. Oh, he's actually going to try it! Thought he was sticking around, man. Once he popped the flash down, I'm like, is this guy crazy? He saw 3 players, but he decided to gate crash out. Oh, give me a heart attack, Forsaken.
It's given them information of at least where the players are. And I think they've fallen back off of their initial aggression onto B, but you can see that it's definitely in the head of Buzz. Like, that's about as far back as you're ever going to play, unless you're just sat within your spawn saving. So now they have to try and clear out some of these more aggressive angles. Lots of utility. This setup is beautiful, but Jin gets out. He manages to escape and still holds onto the position, even has utility of his own to try and hold them back, but Forsaken caught in a bit of an odd spot, facing the wall, trying to have the anti-flash, and in the meantime, DRX have cleared out every single player. Stacks is popping at the moment. It's left all on to Benkai. And actually, I think he's heard that rotation. It's somewhat of a ruse, but they end up going in that direction anyway when they realize the site is clear. Yeah, and with Buzz having lurked over on B for so long, he's already got this position cleared out fully. He's ready for Benkai to make his way through, but now he senses, all right, at this stage, he'll think I'm here. Element of surprise kind of faded away, pops the smoke, falls back, and he's going to play this with his teammate. Another thing for DRX is just the patience play, man. They set up, they take every advantage they can get, nobody's swinging alone. And the first point of contact is going to be up inside of Hookah. Benkai is going to have to hit that shot and then immediately adjust to Buzz. Not an easy duel to take. He's being spotted now, and there's the double swing to close it. Really well handled. And at this point, this is the kind of play you need to see from DRX, because some rounds have slipped out of both teams' hands because of big clutch plays. So we're going to start to wake up and play it a lot more serious. See if it grows on me. Well, he's been doing quite well, at least, when he's had that operator in play. Hasn't played it particularly a huge amount because of how aggressive he's going to be. Like, he wants to be challenging through those TPs. He wants to be pushing forward. But there's definitely been moments where he's been caught out. Benkai goes pushing. Now, there's a lot of open angles from this point onwards, and I'd be very surprised if he manages to get anything. In fact, you can see the instant reaction, a free kill for RB.
Nicely connected. DRX will just breeze into this site now. The TP coming through from Forsaken. With the Marshal, I mean, he's going to have a tough time clearing out that. If he ends up in a close range fight. Devi's able to just push through here, but the shot won't be connected. Zest goes down. That's a rifle upgrade for Forsaken. Back control in their favor. They know where DRX are stuck in towards Lamps. Down in the bottom of middle, this could be huge as they look to isolate these close-range dual pistols in hand. A stinger for Jing opens it up, but Buzz goes huge. 3 kills to secure the round. Now 7 on the board for DRX. These guys are steaming ahead on the attack side.
Yeah, their off the plants just look so controlled. Like, even though they gave up certain portions of the map because players were lost, they then react, reclaim others. And I don't think we've seen a success, since the pistol at least, seen a successful retake of Lamps. Like, whoever's been there, even if they're stunned up, has just been so confident in holding on to that position, whether it's been Buzz or RB in previous rounds. And retaking without that control is always so incredibly difficult, and I just don't think there's been anywhere near as much there to be able to force them out of that spot. 7-3 after some early round shenanigans. DRX have gone into a dominant spot just like they did on the previous map.
At this point, Tom, for Paper X, it's do or die time in this half. All the economy invested into this round. Gonna have a showstopper and Rolling Thunder coming up with just 1 kill. DRX are taking this understandably slowly, understanding the weight that is in this round and how important it can be. They're playing the default holding for the aggression. Paper X up to the similar Yoru tricks that we've talked about.
Yeah. It's like seeing the fake out on the map is the most like mind blowing. That like you look just like this. Oh, he's no, he's not there. He's over here. And it's just like trying to focus on it. I feel like they need to almost make him a different color when it's the fake out to be less confusing. Forsaken, however, has managed to get one and then escape. Jing also just trying to delay. That was beautiful how he managed to get up there. So beautiful they didn't even expect it, but he whips his shots. Not going to find anything more, and they'll take control of the site.
That's a huge whiff. RB left alive. They're closing in on the site. The heals coming in for RB. And he's spraying back through. The Rolling Thunder committed. Maybe a little bit late, though. They just lost a player. As they go back in, there's no flashes to play with. Benkai is going to try to close the distance himself, but he's got a 1v3 now after the first kill. And they're just tucked in all these little corners. The crossfire with Long. RB should be swinging. Not able to get the kill, but... Oh, actually, he'll be forced out. This is really good for Benkai. Kill with the Aftershock, 1v2. Time on his side. Information, though, not really there to play with, and the swing from Stax confirms the round. 8 on the board for DRX. Paper X are running out of cash, Tom, coming into the final round.
Well, yeah, they're running out of rounds as well. Like, it's been incredibly strong. And that's the thing. I feel like there's been opportunities where we could have seen Paper X, like, catch someone off guard, and they just haven't been able to do so. Like, the movement that came out from Jing there was fantastic. Like, able to get up above, take an aggressive angle, doesn't connect, and then you just see instantly DRX just lock him out with utility. They don't allow him to have a repeat. They don't allow him to have another chance, and anybody else who's battling elsewhere on the map, well, they've already lost by that point.
So not only did Paper X have a poor economy, oh, but never mind, screw that point. Forsaken's gone, he's running it down, flashes in, Mind Freak trades, Showstopper out to secure it. RB doesn't even need it. And this is what I was going to point out. You had a res for DRX, but Zest is gone. You have the Showstopper as well. And sure, Jing has his own, but after that initial fight and losing all of the players, this is a next to impossible round. Oh, that's stunned. Great that Showstopper gets nothing. And with 30 HP and a Spectre in the hands of both remaining players, this round is, well, it should be DRX's, and they're even going to confirm it rotating to A, leaving Jing to try and run, and look who's right behind him, behind the Cosmic Divide. RB's going to secure this bit of map control. And that's great information, because now they know exactly where he's going, and he has no idea.
There's only one way he can go. So you can see instantly, Stax is already watching this. The communication from DRX is second to none. Everybody's on the same page of where this is currently going to be coming from. You can see the hold over on the other side, the plant even being in an aggressive position, and it's almost like Stax has eyes around the map or something. Maybe he's playing a Cypher and we just didn't know it, because his timing, his precision on this map has been superb. DRX 9-3 in the lead, Mitch. That was dominant.
Well, maybe the first time someone had a side can when they shouldn't. And here, round number 13 about to kick off, and Tom, Paper X have got a pretty tough task at hand. This is going to have to be a solid attack side, and I think somewhere we're hoping to see a lot of value out of that Yoru coming into things here.
I love the clips we were getting from Doug, though, because those are things that you sort of spot out, like you see the ladder parts, but he's taken the POVs out of the round, and he's given us the only Yoru analysis we've ever seen in pro play. So there you go. Thank you, Doug, for that one. But yeah, it's a really rough spot for them to be in, and especially now going into a DRX defense, which has so much stopping power. That's almost, I thought this composition would work for them more so on that defense, because you have so much stuff to sort of slow down this fast-paced, aggressive play, which Paper X love to do. Well,
it looks like DRX have really rolled the dice on this one. 4 players on the A site, but well, Paper X have gone the other side.
I don't think that flash can port anyone.
So that's information void.
Yeah, it's false info.
And here we go. Some noise coming up Long. DRX will have a pretty good idea what's going on now, but there's not anything that they can do about it. You know, unless Stax is going to run out and just die to like 4 players rushing him, he's just going to wait, hold elbow control, and let his teammates rotate in. But look at this. Paper X are not going to give them any space at all. 3 players pushing in to take that control, and a flash ready for Devi. He's back out with the pistol, and well, that hasn't gone according to plan.
Jing in pistol rounds. It's a terrifying force, and he's looking to just sprint all the way in from behind. Forsaken being walled off, and actually they're going to try and get on the defuse. They have the gatekeeper as well, as they just wrap back. They're still sticking this. They're holding it all the way down, and they can't quite stop him. It's going to be defused right in front of their faces, and that wall, I think, just wins them the round.
And the incredible thing is, as well, the player didn't get walled off. They got walled up and just weren't ready for it. That would have been 2 kills, probably, if he was a step further forward looking to the left. But instead, he goes up in the air, gets confused about how to even aim while you're flying up. And this here, toe tapping away. Benkai takes him down as the defuse comes through. I don't know if there's a way to analyze that one frame by frame in the production truck and tell us how close it was.
Why did you give it that task?
I'm going to give him a difficult task. I want to know, how close was that to stopping the defuse? And production are now...
Joe's just sat there like, screw you. I have enough to do.
Well, 10-3. This is looking like DRX setting themselves up for victory, but Phorex a 4 spot. Forsaken's in the sight, and he's already grabbed himself a kill. Looks like he wants a little bit more as well, and he needs it too. Still a player sat here on the back site. RB's gone undetected thus far. They still haven't cleared him.
No, I think they have the plan to. Oh, Flash is
Still
still
sure?
going. Okay, never mind. Free kill. They still haven't managed to get the spike. They're trying to bait people into peeking. Jing eventually will get the job done, but again, the trades come back and forth. Dancing past goes Marco, but Benkai in from behind has managed to find one more. It's left all on to Stacks again, and this time he can't clutch it out. FULLMATCH will bounce back, and it's a needed round.
Taking a leaf out of DRX's book with the second round force buy. Huge success in this one. Only the 2 players surviving, so there is still a decent bit of investment for them, but it's unlikely DRX really decide to go all in on this round. Defensive side, they could make it work with a light buy, but the eco is 9 times out of 10 what you're going to be going for, and that gives FULLMATCH at least an opportunity.
3 frames. That's what I've been told.
3 frames?
3 frames.
Oh my. Okay, well that's a bit unreasonable. That's ridiculous.
Beacon down.
Such a tight margin, but either way, they might have lost the first round because of a couple of frames, but they've won the second, and now all that's left to do is convert up against Classics. It has been a full eco for DRX. The fake going out, Yoru just running forward. They've realized. Managed to get one of the kills at least to start with. Forsaken's just running through the aftershock. What a lunatic. It's his teammate, so yeah, take less damage, but he's still pretty low.
I feel like half the time he has to work out where he is. like, because I'm trying to keep up with it. Like, okay, he's gone from there. He's over there now. That's not him. That's the fake one. No, the other one's over on this side. And okay, and he's there. And that's like half the round. And I can't imagine what it's like for DRX, because I can see his point of view, him on the map, where he puts his fake outs on the map, and they can't see any of that until it's in their face. So I feel like it's almost, again, just like this disruption play coming out from FULLMATCH of just like, this guy is creating confusion for you. And again, I remember speaking to Nikhil, and he was like, this agent is made for him.
It's like, the problem with Yoru that we've seen when it was tried in the MEA towards the start is that you can see the idea behind a lot of the plays, but it's so hard to pull it off successfully. Oh no, the wall's gone up.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you said.
This was one of the things I said about them bringing in a Sage. It wasn't in the comp previously, and it's just like, if he's going to try and cause disruption with his ultimate, well, that doesn't work if you just wall it off. He can't run through walls. That's not in the ability toolset yet, you know? Maybe if he stops being played, they'll add that in.
He's being played, what, by the one team playing him?
It was 0% before today, so now they've gone, one guy did it, sorry, we can't give you the through wall hack.
No buff, yeah. Maybe if they're following that logic, I guess Reyna's about to have a nerf as well then, after the last
wait for the Phoenix buff.
Okay. Relax. Not looking to make it an NA meta. Flash out towards long here confirms that there's been no push from DRX. Super passive play. And after they hear that flash on long, look at them go. They're running. Oh, but that being destroyed is not ideal, because now it's actually sort of made DRX think maybe they're still around here for seconds in the back of the site.
I guess that maybe with the Seekers, he just had the confidence to do that, but I feel like he would have done it anyway. They've still got this deep control in the afterplant, but look at DRX, they're expecting it. They know they've lost this control. Jing is so quick on the reactions. Goes back for a little more, but he's being pincered from behind. He's got to be careful. He needs his teammates to watch, and they're not. It allows RB to get the kill, and leaves just 3 standing.
Yeah, his teammates having Spectres, didn't want to hold into heaven, but that's just really put him in a bad spot. Devi at least able to trade back. Mind Freak, he's going to have to select this moment very carefully. You can see they're watching the smoke, waiting for him to emerge. He's got a teammate buying him some time, and double spray down! That is huge! Orbital strike to confirm the round, essentially. 3v1, Stax will get a kill, but time is the biggest enemy for him. He has got to run for the hills. That is a massive round for Paper Rex to pick up. They came into this with a lot of disadvantages, and damn did they make it work.
Yeah, and especially when it came down to like that 4v3 scenario after a couple of players attempted to get aggressive. They needed a little bit of luck, and it looks like they got it there. Just spamming through the smoke, lining up to try and just stop the person from defusing. Actually gets 2 for his money instead. And now it leaves a bit of a weird scenario. Now, DRX do have some pretty damn powerful ults, and some coming close as well. Like, you got the Seekers almost there, a Showstopper only 2 away, but the one I'm focusing on at least is that Viper's Pit. If they can get into a site, get into a good position, there's an opportunity for them here. And I do wonder if they're just going to try and utilize it almost instantly, but instead, Stax is just going to try fighting.
Stax the only player that had a Phantom though, so the players to back him up, not going to have nearly as easy of a time. The Showstopper won't be finding a kill here. The players are far too far away. But it is seizing the space, getting them onto the site quickly, allowing the plants to come through.
They waited. I like it. They didn't even move that little bit forward just in case, because they didn't hear it fired off just yet. Buzz, not wanting to get caught in his astral form. And they've just got so much utility to hold them back at this point. Again, for the remaining players, not really expecting them to invest anything into this, and just going to try and get a kill or 2.
Was at least managed to find the first. Fighting back into the stun, not too easy. Flash, not going to blind anybody at all. I mean, they've waited out a lot of the utility here. It's the best moment to strike for DRX on the way through. Rifle retrieved, but nothing to be found for it. Still, good damage, all things considered. Yeah. And, you know, I like Paper Rex. For a second, I thought, I'd love to see the Aftershock go down with the nade. But then I realized they were staggering their utility purely just to buy themselves that extra bit of time. Nade down first, wait a little moment, pop down the Aftershock, wait a second longer, stun it up. It was nicely handled.
Yeah, again, still got pretty much all of those ultimates. Like, Benkai has his Rolling Thunder on the other side, but defensively, a Viper's Pit potentially being put into play, Seekers when they need that information, or on the retake. So, again, there's a lot of danger here, and they're just going to lock it down on A site almost instantly. The only worry I have is that if there's any ultimate that they have to be really careful playing against when you're up against a Yoru, it's a Viper's Pit.
Yes, that can be extremely dangerous.
Spike drop.
Now, when you look at where Paper Rex are at right now, they did start to give up the control here and move away, but it seems like they've got an idea of what they want to do, moving in towards this Viper's Pit. Mako holding behind the box, won't be baited out by that fake from Yoru. You've got a slow orb ready to fire through. A minute left on the clock, though. DRX won't want to use up all their utility just yet. And that might buy some time. Paper X already setting up, starting to break this wall inside a bathroom. This is wise from them not to already be charging into the pit. They want to wait a moment, and they want to make sure that they're applying pressure from both sides. What this does, though, is it allows DRX to start that rotate. 3 players here, the Seeker seeing them outside, and that's an ambitious play. He's already through! Forsaken's got them with the TP, and he had to be ulted by a Showstopper.
30 seconds left.
But he wanted to try and catch out Marco. That's the problem. You needed to kill off this Viper. And in fact, he now re-aggresses further. This is going to be a huge surprise. They don't expect him. That's a spike down. Marco's already won them the round. This has to be a straight sprint for the remainder, and they'll have to do it through a Viper's Pit. I don't even think they have the time to get anything done, just hoping for a miracle shot. And that slight bit of re-aggression coming out from Marco basically just closes it completely.
That is absolutely huge. And initially, he was moving to get the flank, thinking that the players were already gone, that they were on their way to plant, and he hears that step behind him, and it's like Christmas came early for him. He couldn't believe his luck. 2 players running through his pit, not even looking at him. This right here, were it not for the Showstopper, I mean, he was spraying through that. It could have come close to taking Mako down. But in the end, man survives and wins it out, and it's all around that Viper's Pit. 11 on the board for DRX.
Yeah, 3 ultimates used in that round for DRX, just to make sure it's confirmed. The remaining 2 far more situational, and you do still have that Rolling Thunder available for an entry. Again, there's a lot of cool combination things you can do alongside that Yoru, stunning them up, not enabling them to be able to turn around to take that fight versus him. There's a lot of potential, but I don't know if he's necessarily going to be the focus point of this.
They haven't checked the right as they go through, but they'll spam it anyways. Luckily, already had Mako drop down. Over towards the side. Paper X have been cleared out long with the Yoru. Now going to look to blitz into the side, but again, DRX have got the lead. There's 3 players here ready to fight. Rolling Thunder for left side. They'll fight the right, and TP in on the back of the Rolling Thunder. Look how quickly Forsaken's already here, able to eliminate RB, and almost takes down Stax with a sliver of HP. That's a quick frag for his teammates. Mako hasn't been spotted just yet, but they're ready. They knew he could be in the smoke. Zest quick to bounce back onto the site. They know that Buzz is there. Really, Paper X didn't let anything slip there. That was such a clean round.
Yeah, I really like the potential combinations of that Rolling Thunder, because normally you're going to have yourself a raise in most cases, blast packing in behind it.
Yes.
That's expected. The fact is, though, they have 2 players that can get in so desperately quick that it's impossible for them to check every single angle at once, because they're either trying to escape to make sure they're not just getting killed while they're stunned, or they're going, Raze is flying over my head! So you have to try and almost focus on that. There's so much distraction play within this composition, and yeah, then just holding on to the site at the end. 11-8. Remember, this was a 9-3 first half, and DRX are now back to just pistols. Again, still with a res if they get into a good spot. Oh no. Well, there's the good spot, Mitch. There's the good spot.
Pretty good spot, yeah. They pushed down mid, got stunned by Breach, and managed to hit the shot swinging with the Sheriff. I mean, you get 1 bullet, 1 shot. They certainly didn't let it slip. Nice. These rifles are going to have a really tough time of recovering it. The one upside is that in the positions they killed them in, not wanting to over-aggress and lose their lives, they haven't retrieved those rifles. So the remaining players still only have pistols to play with.
Still, though, isolating these duels, not going to be easy.
Smoke's down.
I'm Freak spotting one, but he's just gone straight into the site. He's an absolute madman. And while RB will take that, a quick trade, putting it into a 4 versus 2. It seems like a ruse, though. They're trying to fake this out, and they have pulled a rotation. If they can manage to isolate Marco, this round could go in their favor. However, they've got to find him first.
All they have to do is deal with Mako, but that can be a pretty tough round. They're clearing the right angle, but he's avoided them, and the timing was perfect. The shot not connected, though. And now stuck in the corner. It should be easy. Mind Freak being played with here. Oh, he's down to 19 HP. The classic comes out, and Stax is there to save the day. Divide distracted by the teleport behind. You see just why it's not so easy to get rid of Mako. Hiding in that corner, buying so much time for the rotations to come through. DRX just looking unstoppable with 4 chances to close out this map and bring us to Ascent.
So dirty. It's just so dirty. So much aggression across the map from DRX. It's not the norm of what we see from them on this map in particular, of what we've seen so far. It's been much more passive, waiting for these aggressive plays to come through from Paper X, and that spanner in the work has basically turned this now into a map point for them. A chance to take us to a 3rd, a chance to take us to Ascent, which within their region has been a phenomenal map for them. And somewhere I'm sure they're going to be incredibly happy to go.
To start this one out, Paper X are looking for mid control. Fighting up through Hookah, they get it for free. DRX are content to just give this control up, maybe realizing there could be some weaknesses here for Paper X. The Judge, always going to be scary, has been spotted up and above. Nade for backside, going to push a player out of position. Mako in trouble, he ends up falling for the decoy. Forsaken!
Dear.
That was huge misread.
I don't think he spotted him. I think Marco managed to dodge within the tube, and because of that, it's all fallen apart. The aggression of Stax is countered, though, and Divide has just gone massive. He's run out of bullets, though, and Buzz has killed the final 2. DRX are going to claim their opponent's map choice. Just really think that. So last time that we saw DRX play, they used an Omen and a KJ. And the last time we saw it for Paper X, they used Astra in a Chamber. Now, the other side have swapped to an Omen and a KJ, and they've swapped to an Astra in a Chamber. I think both teams wanted a mirror match, and instead have ended up going for opposite agents. The only other change is Stax switching from KO to Sky to stop them having a mirror match in that regard. So I think both teams have tried to, like, outplay out-brain each other, and they've ended up on each other's choices.
Well,
it's madness.
Not exactly the agent select either team would have expected, I'd imagine. We're diving on into map number 3, round 1 of Ascent with Paper Rex on the defense. But again, they're the ones attacking, moving in the middle, taking those fights, and they have stopped DRX from going anywhere near that part of the map. Instead, they switch direction over to A, and now they're slowed down by the paranoia.
Yeah.
Gotta wait a moment, shock dart in, now here comes the push.
Oh, the shock dart's done so much damage. Look at the HP of the DRX players as they've entered the site. I don't think you're going to see much more from a single shock dart. It doesn't matter, though. Buzz connecting a crazy shot off the back of his pistol. They've also got the drone to try and hold them back. I say that, never mind. Benkai just goes jumping through. Buzz ends up with a 4K, and DRX, even though they took so much damage on the way in, will still get the round.
Out of ammo in the Headhunter, down to 8 HP. That means Buzz is out of the round, right? No. He goes underneath Heaven, ducks down, and says, look, I'll at least try to distract them while they come down.
He got the 4 kills after he was down.
Look,
to AHP.
tucked here, bang, bang, easy as can be, dropping down, taking both. And that is 1-0 with a 4K for Buzz. Now, that is actually kind of huge because he is going to be close to the tour de force coming into Paper X's full buy. So keep an eye on Buzz this round. If he gets 3 kills, 2 kills and an orb, whatever, any combination that results in him having the ult online, then the next round gets astronomically difficult for Paper X.
Well, he's playing close to B as well. I wonder if there's no aggression out from the defensive side, which very unlikely. You're up against Paper X. But he might just go and grab that orb, and then it's even less. It's like, what, 1 orb, die, or 1 orb, kill, die. Like, that's going to get him enough to actually get it. Instead, though, it is very passive from Paper X. Sitting back, waiting to see what sort of aggression is coming through. DRX are expecting something. They're expecting a move on the other side. And because there's been no information other than a single drone, which will make it into A, they rotated everybody.
Yeah, this is huge. I mean, Device realizing he can't really make a play through that at the start. Tries to...
He then unrealized it and ran through the smoke.
Yep, and it went as expected. Buzz now with his 3rd kill of the round, and you know what that means. Next round, we are going to have that ultimate online. Also, you can send someone out just still... Tour de force. I was practicing it with Enzo all weekend, so don't worry. This is going to be really tough, and I mean, for DRX, they can lose a weapon now. They wouldn't even care, but I suppose Buzz can have that backup of a Spectre to play with a Tour de Force. That's going to be such a tough round for Paper Rex. It's a flawless, a Prime Gaming flawless round 2. You really couldn't wish for a better start to this map if you're DRX.
No, literally, unless maybe you had RB somehow getting a load of kills and orbs as well, but
sure.
I feel like that's one of the most ambitious things you could ever hope for. So yeah, the fact that Buzz is going to go in, and for those of you who maybe just started watching DRX, you're like, okay, well I've seen Buzz play a little bit of Jet, but ultimately he's your Sentinel player. Why are they getting so excited? This guy was absolutely nuts last year playing the duelist role. Like, he is an incredibly aggressive player, someone who is fantastic with the operator. And a lot of people, when they saw him switch to Sentinel, were basically like, well, he's just going to be on Chamber the whole time. His Killjoy was a massive surprise. Nobody expected that. If they did, a bit weird. But either way, the fact that he now gets this going into the round, and just look at the sheer pace of the rest of the team. They are just running. They're blitzing their way in. Device come through the smoke again! Oh, he just ran in for the 2nd time, but... Okay, Buzz. Okay.
He's not even doing it with the Tour de Force. He gets it! What? The 4th kill! He won't close out the round. That responsibility is left to Mako. But man, oh man, has he done some legwork. 1v1 spike retrieved. Forsaken trying to sneak his way behind. This is the full buy for Paper Rex. And it's come down to an unbelievably close scenario. Mako is on his way to A, and he's pretty much guaranteed a spike plant.
I need a tactical pause. I don't know if I can carry on with the rest of this round. Even still, though, it could be ruined by Forsaken. He's got good positioning, the timing even better, but the smokes actually mask that spot, and because the rest of the angles are cleared, Marco is able to just hold back in a position where he has to almost fight him close. Forsaken, though, slowly making his way, but Marco just decides to swing him. Ego the man, and they will take themselves the bonus. Production, give me that slow-mo right now, because that, like, no, I don't care about this shot. I definitely don't care about this one. These ones are nice. Give me this one. What?
Yeah, get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Hell was that?
You can't. And the best part is, Tom, he had the tour de force online the whole time. He could have switched to it. It was just as quick as going to the headhunter. Pull it out, go for the shots. But no, he's like, oh, I'm just going to run at them with a Spectre. Kill 2, down to the headhunter,
Also,
full blind, headshot that guy. Get out of here, man.
Whoever decided to put that clip from his POV without the X-ray, you're my favorite human being.
Yes.
Because I don't think people realized how BS that shot was until you see what he saw, which was nothing.
Oh my God. Paper X have got to be absolutely devastated after that round. I mean, we theorized that Buzz could have impact. The tour de force would be a key part, and yeah,
they got one kill.
It opened the round, but but it did nothing other than that. It was a Spectre, a full blind headhunter, and a beautifully timed clutch by Mako. I mean, every part of that. The smoke he put down, crossed to underneath, and then he counted to 10 in his head, peeked out wide, caught him off guard. It literally could not have been better. DRX are just on fire.
Yeah, they're playing this so patient as well. They know again that they're up against mostly pistols, and Forsaken's having a little jiggle. Now he's in an aggressive enough position, but again, it's the same thing. They've just used a single drone, and it's kept all the other players. Forsaken just trying to fall back to the side. He's actually going to play around the smoke. They should expect this. It's Forsaken after all, but he's going to actually... He follows him! He follows him with the dash! Oh, I love watching this guy play. His brain does not work like anybody else's. No one else would do that.
That was like Doctor Strange seeing all the possibilities. The only way he gets away with that. And it's so quick, man.
So close.
Oh, my. Well, he got the kill, and that was good and everything with the shorty, and it was fun to watch. But, you know, they are in an eco after all, and everybody else is just being ruined.
Yeah, the only other thing is I have a feeling he popped his knives.
Forsaken did?
Yes. We'll see. I could be wrong. Maybe I imagined that in the confusion of everything going on, but I think after he used the shorty, I'm almost certain, yeah, he popped his knives.
Oh, no. There's the dash in. Oh, they saw him on the edge as well.
He gotta be so... Imagine, like, Marco doesn't even react.
Wait.
Like, he just like, yes.
Here.
Yeah, Mako's spraying down. Did he kill someone in spawn with the initial spray? I didn't even notice in the replay because I was watching for the guy at the shorty inside the smoke.
Surprisingly, that was our focus.
Yeah, I thought I think
Buzz
he,
is
but either way.
13-1 in 4 rounds.
That's actually insane.
He's averaging more than 3 a round.
In the first 4. Well, here comes the full buy for Paper X. I mean, better chance than we've had so far for them. Operator in the hands of Forsaken, and it's holding
I think he was gambling on a trap being there. So that's why that smoke looks weird.
Yes.
But he's hoping that he's smoked off a trap, but instead it's actually a lot deeper. Now this does still give an awful lot of control. And actually, he's putting smokes down for his teammates. So Mindfreak is happy to just sit here. This gives them the A site unlock other than mid, and it means they can gamble the rotate over into B, which has been a high point of contention in these early rounds.
Yeah, I don't mind him putting the smoke down here at all for his teammate. He could try to make that sneaky play behind, but why when they've got so much control? And that's exactly why they're content to sit still. The operator holding down the A side. They've got A long locked and a stack up on B. Killjoy utility revealing that these players have come up through middle. Great turret placement as well, just to gather all that information. This is something that Paper X have planned from the very start of the round, and DRX are walking right into the trap. That is dangerous though, caught with a flash out. Luckily they're able to keep it in their favor. Not really though. DRX quickly answering back. Jing gonna try to pop the flash around, swinging through. The spray is good for 1, but not for 2. DRX now with the advantage, and Mako closing that round out beautifully. 4 kills for him there.
The thing is with this round as well is like you talk about like Paper X having this stack up. DRX used to be
a big threat in terms of fragging power. Sure, here he's going to be nerfed by the entry ability, but there's a whole second half coming, and so far Paper X have built no foundations for that. They need to start stepping it up, and it doesn't get easy here because, again, not a whole lot of cash, so they've got to come in here with just scraps.
Revealing area.
Yeah, in theory, they could try and get themselves the Hunter's Fury off the back of an orb, but again, like, the orbs on this map are horrible. Like, to try and get them when you're on that defender side is incredibly difficult. And you can see RB, he knows their plan. He has a teammate alongside him in case there's some sort of pop flash. He can just stay behind and just swing off the back of it. It's a nice setup just to try and deny that extra control. And that's what DRX is so good at. maybe the best at. Just these very slow defaults. I'll give a shout out to Loud as well. I think they did an incredible job the other day versus Liquid. Maybe not so much on Haven, but on the other maps,
We'll forget about that.
It happens.
It does. It does. I mean, it very nearly happened here. DRX's bounce back on Bind was unbelievable. Oh, the shock dart's huge! Look at that damage! The reveal as well!
Oh my
That's gonna
God!
give the wall bangs from the Sheriff! 2 kills found! Huge damage done, shields stripped away from most of these players. The Hunter's Furies may be a little overcommit, but considering the buy, they've got to make sense. Great flash in with the Stinger, and that is decimation from Jing. Only Mako left alive, and he'll get one, but he needs the ace clutch to come out ahead in this round. The eco for Paper X, and yet they've made it look phenomenal.
You take a tactical pause, and this is what you come out with. Like, amazing stuff. There's so little time left. They really want to try and kill off Marco just to get that remaining weaponry, juggle it between the other players, but that was just beautiful. The shock dart timing, then also having the dart afterwards just to make sure that you can finish off some of those remaining players who are trying to scatter away from the utility. I think there was actually a nano swarm in the middle as well, just to try and almost push them that little bit further forward. And yeah, how many times are you going to see a double Sheriff wallbang? Never.
I mean, initially they moved out of the way in the nano swarm. They walked forward, then they stepped back a second to get out of the way of the nano, and then what's that coming up from the sky? That's unbelievable. Way to make it work with a low buy with practically nothing to work with. They didn't even have to see half their opponents. 5-1, the first round for Paper X. Now they've got to do it on a full buy, though, and that's where there's been some trouble.
Trying to follow that dart wasn't easy. Bouncing all the way back. Some pre-fire shots not too far away from Benkai, and again they're going to go back for middle control. But look at what the defenders have done in the meantime. They've already taken the A extremity. You can see also the push-up into B. They may not have mid, but they have control elsewhere. The only worry at the moment is the potential for them to push through towards the spawn, and you can already spot that there's a rotation coming to try and counter that.
Covering all their bases, Paper X know the gaps they're leaving open. With this smoke just fading away. Oh, actually the rotates come back. That drone really selling it in towards short. It spotted the Killjoy up close. Buzz with a quick shot on the operator, and he's out of there just as quickly. Now set up to move in towards B with his teammates. Jing able for one, but the trades are instantaneous, and Forsaken has an operator. He might be good to catch them all for one, but now it becomes difficult. They'll start to burn up utility getting towards them, but with a smoker already gone, it's so difficult to block vision of that operator. They decide instead it's going to be easier to move back to A.
He's ready with the paranoia. Shot not connected, but he slowed them down. There's still some utility available, and actually they don't expect him to still be here. He's going to look to shut it out, and then Devi just waiting on the cross. Another trap set by Paper X, and another round in their corner.
Yeah, that was huge by Mindfreak. A risk that paid off tenfold. Tucking in that corner after popping the paranoia, they assumed he's going to hold back and try to run the clock down. I mean, there was like 15 seconds left, so if he can drop the spike on the way across or make it a little more difficult for them, but instead he catches them completely off guard. And knowing the alarm bot was there as well definitely helped him out, and just continuing to hold that, knowing that it's likely to drag their crosshair as they swing on out. A second round found for Paper X, but because of the streak of rounds that DRX have found, they're buying up yet again.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, and they're also very close to some incredible ultimates on the attacking side. So they do have to be a little bit careful not to allow them that orb control. And again, you could just see the challenges coming through. A very deep push for Forsaken, but I think he knows he's been spotted. So it doesn't want to overpeak, doesn't want to give the game away, but we'll just keep that little bit of control.
You know, for the most part, this will be a slow round from Paper X, the main point of aggression being Forsaken. But as time goes on, and with that drone going up short, there's a chance that they start to get aggressive. But here comes the Trailblazer in to clear it out, pushing him all the way back. He has avoided being spotted and instantly reposts on the angle. Shot not going to connect. Now under a lot of pressure, has a teammate here to help him. And the key thing being that it's Jing. He can pop a flash through that smoke and try to close in the distance. The shorty connects, but not for the kill. Jing able to trade, but he's taken down. And now DRX might have control of the site. Mindfreak is back in Boathouse, having TP'd in. But they'll know that. This is the standard play for an Omen in this kind of round. They're ready to clear it out together, and Buzz doesn't even need any help.
30 seconds left.
Hook down into play. They should be able to get that plant off, and actually, they're going to look to try and aggress onto it. Benkai, he's holding that corner, spray down for Devi, but that's what they really needed. They've destroyed the lockdown and forced him back into the site. Gonna have to try and swing on this. Marco is incredibly low, just hiding within that smoke, and he doesn't know that this close angle is currently being held. A chance for a headshot angle, and Stax isn't gonna miss that one. DRX break back again and, well, increase their lead.
Yeah, another really solid play. Having Mako inside the smoke really maximizes his low HP if the player tries to push through, and then obviously they're able to just double swing out to close it. This was ridiculous. I mean, he got jumped on with the shorty. Only half his HP stripped, and then the trade was instant from the rest of DRX, getting past that utility that had slowed them down and initially breaking through the choke point. The 6th round found. It's not going to pressure Paper X too much economically, but they don't have any ultimates. They committed a lot to that round and didn't manage to walk away with it. That leaves them on square one, whereas DRX, on the other hand, have a lot to work with. I mean, look at that ultimate economy. Only 3 orbs needed for them to have all 5 to work with, and they're all very impactful.
They're going for these aggressive plays again. Mid being battled for, so much damage being taken, but these crossfires to push through from Forsaken is so risky, but he's just hitting the headshots left and right, and they're just trying to flee, running away from a man in form at the moment, looking to try and punish on towards this A site and looking for the spot onto Mindfreak, but he's found another as well. These weaker purchased rounds just seem to fall apart sometimes, these aggressive rounds, and he's just switching corners every second that goes by. But again, the trades come back. Forsaken takes one through the wall, and it's left to Marco.
Oh, I like this. He's going to go through his own smoke. He should be trying to take control of heaven in their mind, but they turn back at just the right moment to catch him. Walking right into the 2 players. It's a 3rd round to Paper X. Good bounce back.
Other is that sort of like the setup that they had in towards B. I can't remember what the last one is, but it's still 3, like they haven't managed to win many standardized rounds. And as said, on the other side, well, having this many on.
Well, now, early aggression out of this Blade Storm, and it actually connects. Spike dropped.
He's going.
And they're just rushing it right down, taking that control out of the hands of DRX. This is going to be a huge problem fighting back into the Blade Storm. Smoke down as well to fight through. But it is this guy on the other side. Trailblazer starts it out. Makes sure that they are close. They'll probably burn the flash here. Just a moment to get on through. In fact, they don't need to. RB popped his own Blade Storm and took the space right back.
Here. Yeah, the thing is they've had to use a fair amount of utility just to get that. So you've had to use a gravity well, you've had to put some extra utility out just to try and make sure that you can actually get the spike back. So although, yeah, sure, it's managed to be recovered, there still needs to be a lot more spent in this round. And DRX may not necessarily have the utility available to do it.
Still a Cosmic Divide online, though, from Mako. That could come in to block some of the vision cones, but just look at Paper X. 4 players stacked up here. They know exactly what's going on, but they don't know about RB's flank. Another fit kill coming through, and this time the Blade Storm for the attackers. RB going to close in the distance, and the pressure on Devi is massive. A Blade Storm kill off to the Vandal. Buzz is coming in with the tour de force. This side is theirs. Forsaken sneaking through middle's even going to be caught. And nothing is working out for Paper X in this round. 7 for DRX. That is a devastating blow to Paper X as well, Tom, because just take a look at where they're at economically again. Calling it back. No ultimates to play with. This is looking like a roll round for DRX, and them getting 8 on the attack and potentially pushing to 9. Oh, that's not pretty.
Yeah, I think it's one of those spots where DRX use 4 ultimates to basically give them that extra round. And there's very little you can do about it, and especially when they get caught out. Because I think the initial play was very good. Even the amount of utility it wasted, a free kill off the bat, but it's just not ready for that short flank to come through. Forsaken is just going. Sprinting all the way up. Now, they've had this spot. They've been patiently waiting for this push for many, many rounds.
He's the only player with a weapon. He's got the Guardian. 2 players already fallen. And in fact, the second one was Forsaken. With him down, the weapon's lost. Mindfreak tries to push up through B main, take the space alongside his teammate Jing, but they don't get anything done. Spotted from afar by the rifles. The control is lost. And now DRX have got free reign. They have nothing really to fear as long as they can trade out in 1-to-1 fights. And up against Sheriffs, that should be pretty doable. They don't have the rate of fire to take you down if you're playing those duo fights. And really, for Paper X, the hope here is that it's going to be a B main play, that they can catch them off with Mindfreak, with the Paranoia, with the flashes. Or Jing doesn't have any flashes left, but with Jing's tucked in the corner. But DRX are going the other way. they've got some good old game sense, some good gambles.
Yeah, there is very, very little hope left in this round. Devi sat underneath and, well, he will have heard the drone. They've also got aggressive on the other side, so rotations will be coming through in a moment, but I would be gobsmacked if this is not going to be checked, and RB, well, that's it. It's already over. I love this as well. If you go back and watch through the previous rounds in this map so far, DRX have been holding for that push almost every single time. Like, Buzz has been just waiting in and off angle on mid. They haven't been taking that early tiles control to make sure that if he's going to dash in there, he's not going to get any kills. That is a direct counter to what they expect from Forsaken, and finally, it's paid off for them. He won't be doing that again.
Well, it's exactly what we spoke about, the term disruption. You can't disrupt their play if they are sitting back in a default waiting for you to push forward. You're playing into their hands, and obviously there's no way to know that. It's a lesson that unfortunately comes with a pretty heavy cost. In this round at least, it was an eco, so the hope was very low. You throw out a Hail Mary play like that, but it didn't work out. Jing, well, I mean,
we're trying to hold them into the spike, but
they're going to be able to walk around that, go into the corner if he can get a kill or two, but the reveal, oh, well, Meko's gone now. It's something.
It doesn't matter, though, and that's the problem, because, yeah, going into the last round, 4 players surviving, there is plenty of cash to drop this man a weapon, and, yeah, in fact, Zest still has 6,000 credits if they ever needed anything extra, so a very, very good half coming in for DRX. I think, yeah, they've been dealt a couple of blows by some incredible set plays from Paper X, but ultimately, their default rounds, their holds, their sort of executions, the early rounds from Buzz as well have been phenomenal. He's 18-6. He slowed down a bit. He slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, okay, if he kept that kind of pace, though.
13 kills in 4 rounds. So he's not done anywhere near as much in the rest, but it's not really been needed.
Yeah, if your main criticism is that Buzz isn't getting 70 kills in the game, I think you're in a pretty good spot. And DRX, you know, the precautions that they take when they're up against these weaker buys, sure, we've seen that slip a little bit, but you can't be perfect all the time. We're not Tom. There's a compliment. See, yeah, you probably didn't think that was coming.
No.
I saw you think for a second. Wait, was that an insult? No,
yeah,
that's a nice thing.
Huh.
This final round here, worth its weight in gold for Paper X.
Oh, that's great. This Crossfire was just waiting for them to try and make some sort of move into mid. One of the only rounds that's really worked for them, and it's a slaughter. Again, I think DRX have an incredible read on what's currently going on, and because of that, Paper X are almost just playing into their hands. Every push is tempered, is waited for, and Devi, the only hope. He'll get a couple of kills, but ultimately they're just consolation frags. DRX, another fantastic first half. We've seen it throughout this series, Mitch. Is it enough?
I mean, at this point, going on to the defensive side, I feel like it just certainly have a big task on their hands here. DRX have just been on fire in every single way, individually popping off, working as a unit in ways that really are just beautiful to watch. Let's see what Paper X have planned here on their attack. In fact, DRX tried to take the fight to them. I like the Headhunter and Sheriff play on middle from RB and Buzz, but they're pushed back by the smoke. Now it's time to go to the B plan.
Yeah, they've got a trap up close as well. So pushing through this, there's a chance for a double stun as they're going to make it in, and they're just stuck. There's nothing they could do. He had a gravity wall to slow them initially, and then also the trap to slow them down even more. It means getting out of here has been so difficult. What? Okay, Stax is going to find a couple of kills. I'm going to need to see that one again, because they have just shut this push down like there was no one there in the first place.
They're trying to deal with Mako down below. They're so focused on him and the player backside that, yeah, Stax just swings out up top, takes a double instantly. And what a beautiful setup. I mean, DRX had played from middle. Let's take a look at this. Oh, that's gorgeous. It's lining up as well. And yeah, so what I was going to say is DRX played for this at the start, right? They go through mid, they take that fight, and the reaction from Paper X was very quick. They realized these guys are fighting middle. They're not going to have B light or that light. So A should be the weakness. Let's go. Let's rush on in. But the utility that was there to slow down the A push, you could see that DRX were ready for that kind of reaction out of Paper X.
Yeah, the grab wall trap is there again. And I don't really blame them, because getting rid of it is so difficult. If you're being moved away by the gravity wall, if you manage to get past it, you don't have time to turn and shoot the trap, because if you turn, you get pulled back.
And that's the beautiful thing about it, right? You have the trap there. As soon as it gets contact, grab well, you've got one guy probably stuck in the front, and that's exactly what happened. They smoke up, they grab well, they kill the guy. There is literally no reaction that you can make to that. The only way to get rid of that is by burning that util early, and that obviously, they were going for a fast play, a reactive play, playing into DRX's hands. And with a pistol under their belt, you know, PaperX make the right call here in taking an eco, but this sets it up for a very, very tough half. They'll be 11-3 down potentially. They're going to try to get something done here, and they've got potential with 2 players on B on the way through. A quick dash. They slow it down, they group up.
They've managed to get some space here. A lot of damage being done. Buzz stuck in the back corner. If they can isolate him, they got a plum, but that's a lot easier said than done. Oh, this man is on fire today. I can understand why there's a lot of people not wanting to see the Killjoy as much, even though it's fantastic. Like, he's 24-6.
Yeah, at this point, you really cannot make an argument against it, and so many of the kills did come from it being Chamber, from the fact that he had the headhunter to switch to, from the tour de force that he had to entry and open with. This right here, though, the fact that that was a headshot, Mindfreak only needed a body shot, he was low HP, but it didn't matter. That guy could have been 150 with a Vandal, and he would have been down.
I do love how
Instead, the game is ready to roll now. Players have Q-tipped their ears out. Don't do that. You're not supposed to. It's actually bad for you.
feels nice.
It does feel nice, though, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Push out from PaperX, and okay, 2 quick kills. Starting out well, but Buzz is able to trade back, and with just the Spectre in hand, he won't win that ranged fight. PaperX are ahead, 2-man advantage to play with. Mako's a danger man here, but they've dealt with him right away.
Yeah, they were expecting it. I don't mind the idea, especially with DRX, basically knowing that their opponents have just had to stew for a while to come in with basically an incredibly aggressive attempt on their defensive side, like making the same play that Forsaken attempted in the previous half, and yeah, it doesn't work out, but you're playing with some weaker weaponry here, so it's not going to really be the end of the world. And okay, Forsaken, I think he just had a jump scare. just got a little bit of a shock. Nice shot from Zest. Now bear in mind, he's managed to pick up a rifle. Any damage he does is going to make things easier for them in the coming round, but also, he could just opt to try and fix this. I don't know if he'll expect Mindfreak to just be sitting on this corner, though. Bit of an obscure angle, considering the plant is on the other side of the map.
Yeah, but he evidently expected Mindfreak to be somewhere around there, though, because he was being very cautious of the angle around B main, but yeah, a little bit too nasty of a spot tucked up in. 11-4 we go. PaperX finding that round is, I mean, what we needed to see, obviously. But like you said, DRX didn't have a lot to work with there. Now the full buy comes into effect. Buzz 1 away from a tour de force. Stax 2 away from the Seekers. On the other side, though, I see Forsaken's got his Blade Storm in the back pocket. But on a full buy round like this, I don't expect we'll see it. I think that's just going to be kept in reserve. You know, break glass in case of emergency kind of thing.
Yeah, unless it comes up as some sort of clutch scenario.
Of course,
I'd be very surprised, but RB. Already getting the information that they're challenging for mid. This default almost involves just holding on to this control, completely reliant on the turret to spot anybody getting aggressive, and you do have the traps, which are going to give information, along with everything else that's being put into play. The drone managing to tag one. You also had the Tiger making sure that nobody had made it up short. This is the thing with running this double initiator. You just know so much of what's going on the map all at once.
Yeah, a ton of information to play with. PaperX on their way up through mid, now being spotted out by the trap. And DRX are holding it. You can see that Zest is on the stairs, ready and waiting. Buzz inside the alleyway, but PaperX, well, they're leaving their options open yet again. The spike retrieved, the player's starting to back out and move towards short. That's where RB's going to have a challenge in just a moment, and he's gone down. PaperX open it up and move towards the site itself. Paranoia catching nobody. And Mako going to play around his own smoke. They know exactly where he is. He's staying alive for now, at least destroying the recon as well. And Stax is already causing a distraction. This is getting a little scary. They're forcing the spike plant, but Mako is still causing damage in the back lines. A third, or second, in fact. Of course, Stax got the other, but that leaves PaperX in a pretty tough spot. 30 HP at least. It should be an easy kill, but 10 seconds left. Time is a huge constraint, but they found him. It comes a lot closer than they would have liked, but in the end, PaperX still walk out with the victory.
This is sort of what I mean, though. It almost reminds me of when you watch, like, Nats on his Cypher. Like, he's just popping those smokes to give him extra space to maneuver around and just reclaiming basically different angles to try and take fights. Like, it was an incredible job done by Marco to buy time, but on the other side of things, PaperX do very well just to clear all of those players attempting to rotate in. And, well, Benkai, after an incredibly slow start to this game, finally coming up with a big round for PaperX.
Yeah, I mean, Benkai did such a good job because the 2 players that he killed up on Catwalk, including Stax, who was about to have his flashes back, and things could have gotten really scary from there with Mako still lurking around the site. And you saw what damage he did with no support. If those players are still alive, that spirals out of control, but he hits both of those tiny little headshot angles, closes it out for the team as well. Now with the 5th round on the board, they force DRX onto an eco, and with that eco, DRX have given up A control. They'll fight back in afterwards. They have Seekers, they have the Tour de Force.
Tour de Force already activated, so Buzz want to try and get something done in this round. Likely to just try and hold main as maybe the rest of the players push in, have that extra little bit of range. Dash completely blinded even in a smoke, but Forsaken will be able to find the kill. Trade's coming back and forth. Buzz has managed to find another one. Doesn't get anything more though. Jing does well to close him out. Trade's coming back and forth, leaving just one man standing. Zest trying to close the distance with Benkai holding strong. 6 for Paper X, still a way to go, and of course, this is where the buy comes back.
And only the shoulder shots in the end there. It could have been a lot closer if Benkai took a headshot, but would have been the rifle retrieved as well. 11-6 on the board. Paper X, they started a decent comeback over on the previous map. Sometimes it almost feels like a matter of time though, and coming into this round, this is where things could change for the worse. For the primary reason, it's something we brought up in the first half when RB was like 0-4. Where Satyr's saying, look, first of all, he's going to get better. He's been kind of going 1-to-1s ever since. Now he's got the operator on the defensive side. RB off is scary. They're avoiding him to start with. And what? Forsaken's already on the site. Well, that's a retake for DRX in the first 2 seconds of the round.
Yeah, he's just gone straight through. The thing is, the rest of the players haven't been able to make their way through with him. They will get themselves the afterplant, but at the same time, the damage has already meant that there's an advantage here. RB trying to check some of the other angles. The Seeker is going to give away that there's a player in this corner. They know that he's waiting, but the shot's not connecting. Mindfreak going to reposition, take a spot below the logs, as now they try to make their move.
It's time to gear up for the retake, and indeed it's going to start with the Trailblazer, but these players making it out of market are going to have a tough time. The headshot angle for Mindfreak doing some work, but the trades keep on coming back into DRX's hands. Only Benkai left on the site does well for the first and the final challenge is his as well. Paper X are holding on. Benkai with another huge round and the Red Bull clutch to put DRX onto a pretty weak buy, and they're only 4 rounds behind now, Tom.
Yeah, he was at the bottom of the board in the first half, having a really rough time. I'm thinking like 4 or 5 kills maybe. He's now got more than that already in this half, and in clutch situations as well. This is already going to be a massive confidence booster for him, but more so, they're shutting down what is a lot of the utility. The fact is, we even see like a Cosmic Divide go through there just to try and lock off that boathouse, but the fact is there was no one there. They were all playing aggressively. They were all looking to duel, and again, it's just a straight-up fast-paced push, but Buzz seems to get out of there, then takes an elevated angle, and just look at the grab well again, and alongside the trap, it's just slowing them down as they try and walk through. This is barely even an investment. This is barely anything for DRX, but their setup has left Devi alone.
They did everything right in the previous rounds. The leg work, the hard work done. Benkai, he really put everything into those last 2, and for this to be the round, for DRX to win, a headhunter close, the TP back, and a double kill on the side angle for Zest. That is devastating. Look at this. And he's just out. Up and above, they're distracted looking at him, and this is so easy for Zest.
The trap grab well is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Like, they've been putting that regularly over in onto the A site, but they've started doing something similar on the other side of the map just to almost make it impossible. I think they moved it away just for 1 round, just because they were going for these fast speed plays. The fact is, though, Paper X are not afraid. They're like, okay, you're not going to do that again. You're not going to slow us again. And straight in is Forsaken. Already Mindfreak finds another. If at first you don't succeed, well, they've tried it again.
This time, a lot more successful. 1 kill through the smoke, yielding huge value with Zest going down. They've eliminated RB. At this point,
1 enemy remaining.
Well, I got scared for a split second as I went to make that point with 2 kills coming in for DRX. It's looking like Paper X have got it closed out. They don't know that Stax is moving his way all the way around here, but they are still watching, and an alarm bot down as well. I mean, that's just fantastic. They don't even need to peek at Devi's going to do it. Oh, good timing. Catching him staring down at the alarm bot. Good answer back by Paper X, but they need to do this 4 more times. And as we've seen, utility, it's next to impossible to do so reliably and consistently. At least one of them is still going to have it online, and that will buy them enough time to reset over and have the other player activate theirs. I mean, 12-8, a very, very tough attacking side for Paper X ahead of them. It's only 4 rounds, but you're going to see just how difficult that is to make happen. Starting here, RB again going to be on the operator, and look where he is! He even gets Forsaken on the updraft, and Tom, that was the spike. At least they're able to retrieve it. We've seen this strategy before, the TP to try and cause the rotations. They've shown the spike, but they're losing players on the rotate with Jing going down. Now they try to break their way into sight, but there's the utility slowing them, and as they TP in, they are just going straight into Mako's hands.